I'm so happy we don't have a guest on. I'm so
Yeah.
happy we don't have a guest on.
Welcome everyone to episode 142 of the Looks Like a Movie podcast. My name's Kevin. I'm here with Doug and Owen, and today we are talking about Wicked for Good, the second part of the two Wicked musical movies. But first, as always, we can talk about what we watched this past week. Douglas, are you ready to take it away?
Yeah.
Take it
I
away.
watched
I'm defeated.
He is defeated. Look
I
at
am defeated. I don't
that.
I watched Fire Walk with Me. Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. I rewatched it. That movie is like the saddest movie of all time. Um
Is that why you're so
and that's all I'll
defeated?
say because you guys haven't seen it, but
Yeah. No, I know. Doug and I were talking off pod about how I am planning on watching Twin Peaks soon. Uh, I hope that I
Wow.
do that. I hope I
wow.
stay loyal to my word. It's just
Doubting you.
Yeah, well,
TB.
all of Twin Peaks, it's kind of like a commitment because it's pretty long. But
Is it though? Like in the scope of like TV shows?
it's 30 episodes of the original
Okay.
show, and then it's Fire Walk with Me, which is a movie,
Okay.
and then it's 18 like hour plus long episodes for the return. And all
Okay.
of that is
The
not
return is
optional.
just the return is
None of
just
that
season
is
3,
optional.
right?
Yeah, return season 3.
Wait,
And
why is
that's
that
still
optional?
10
No,
times
I said
cooler
none
than
of that is
Stranger
optional. Like you
Things.
have
Oh,
to
none
watch
of
all
that
of
is
it.
optional.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said all of that is optional. I was
No,
like,
no, no,
why?
no, no.
I was like, why would that be optional? Okay. I mean, that's still just like not that long compared to other, I don't know, like a
TV
lot
is
of other
long.
shows. Like,
TV is long. I don't know. I
yeah.
just watched. So went to a thrift store yesterday, and
Mhm.
I f- I
Do a
picked
haul. Do a
I
haul.
picked up
Yeah,
we picked up what's it called?
I don't know.
No,
I mean,
it's
you're the one that bought it.
I
whoa,
wasn't there. I wasn't there.
The West Wing, a
Oh,
box set, like a
a box
complete
set for
series
the West
box set of
Wing.
The West Wing.
Okay.
I was doing
Are
this
you
because
gonna watch
how
the
it
West Wing
opens.
now?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch The West Wing now after Twin
I
Peaks.
also have thought about watching the West Wing in the past. I'm like scared. Like,
You're
I think
scared.
But
I would like it, but it's probably so annoying.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's Aaron
too. I agree.
Sorkin. Um,
Yeah.
it's Aaron Sorkin's like big thing, and
Yeah.
I'm interested in it. And that is really long. It's 155 minutes, and every episode's an hour long, or
Yeah.
155 episodes, and every episode's an
Episodes.
hour long.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
That's what I mean about Twin Peaks not being that long, is that like plenty of shows just ran for, 5+ seasons.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah, Twin Peaks is fucking sick. I also watched for the first time. I watched Twin Peaks: The Missing Pieces, which, if you don't
Oh.
know what that is it's a 90-minute long film. It's also on Letterboxd. But it's all of the deleted scenes from Fire Walk with Me.
Oh,
So they
interesting.
shot all of this extra stuff for Fire Walk with Me, and he just like cut it all out, and then he like re-edited it. He being David Lynch re-edited it for into The Missing Pieces.
Yeah. Couple
Because
extra
Fire Walk
scenes
with Me is
there.
already kind of a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours long, and then The Missing Pieces is like 90 minutes of all deleted scenes. Um, and The Missing Pieces is interesting when you watch it because there's a lot of characters that from the show that just aren't in Fire Walk with Me, and then you watch The Missing Pieces, and like every single character in the show is in The Missing Pieces. They all have scenes. Um,
Wow.
it's silly. Yeah. Then I watched a bunch of like making of documentaries. And then yesterday I saw The Godfather in
Yeah.
theaters. Have you guys seen The Godfather?
no.
Can
No.
we talk about The Godfather for 2 seconds? What
Yeah, say
happened to
something.
movies?
Say
What
something.
happened to
Oh,
movies?
we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Bro, that shit is so crazy. Crazy. That
What?
came out
You
fucking
saw it in theaters?
yeah, I saw it in theaters. It came out
What
For
was
50
the?
years
50
ago.
years
Was it?
ago, yeah.
Was it like a? What kind of? Was
I think
this?
they're just re-releasing it. I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
why.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it wasn't just like a one-time showing. It was at the
Okay.
Alamo Drafthouse, but they're playing it like all week.
Got
Oh,
So I don't
interesting.
know. But yeah, it's that shit is awesome. Marlon Brando. It's so funny. Like the first time I saw The Godfather, or the first few times I saw The Godfather, because I kind of watched it growing up a little bit. Um, Marlon Brando, I was just like, oh, that's just like, Marlon Brando's just old, and that's what he looked like when he was old, right? But it's like, no, not even a little bit. Marlon Brando wasn't even old when they made The Godfather. They fucked up his face so much. It's so nuts, bro. It's so nuts. Yeah, that's my review for The Godfather. That you guys like that movie, right? That movie's good.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
that
all right.
movie. Yeah.
Oh, and we're gonna
Owen's
eat
like
these
not
cameos.
crazy about it.
I
I
still
I feel
haven't.
like
I
I
still
feel
haven't
like
seen the third one.
Owen's. What'd you say?
I still haven't seen the third one.
Neither have I. I should. I don't know.
Third one's good.
I don't even really watch the second one that often. That's like a big problem
Oh,
of mine is that I
I
need to
think I've
rewatch
only
the
seen the
second
second
one.
one like once.
Yeah, because I
the
saw
second
the
one's
second
so
one.
good.
I saw the second one when I was younger, often like with the first, and I feel like since then I've only ever really rewatched the first one. So I should probably rewatch the second one and then actually see the third one for
I
the
feel like I
first
remember
time.
liking the second one more, but I forget.
I think I
Yeah,
like the second one more as well.
yeah, I probably should do that.
Um, and then
You
I
watched a
watched
lot yesterday, right?
a film called I skipped out on that. I was like, I don't want to really what happened was like I said I do not want to go see Wicked at 9 in the morning. So
Yeah.
then I changed my whole
Which is what I did.
yeah, I did not want to do that.
It's very
I
get
watched
it out of the way.
I kind of like I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched like most of. I was kind of watch like not paying attention the whole time, but I did log it because I saw that like nobody has fucking logged this movie. But I watched. It's called Paris When It Sizzles. It's directed by Richard Quinn or
Yeah.
Quine, and it's starring William Holden and Audrey Hepburn. Uh,
Okay.
it's really cute. I think both of you guys would actually like this movie quite a bit. Uh, it's it's about William Holden is a screenwriter, but he's like a Hollywood screenwriter where he doesn't actually want to work or do anything, He just likes being
Classic.
rich and he
Yeah.
thinks about his job as like a fucking fake dumb job.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah, yeah.
and then Audrey Hepburn is a typist. So she gets hired to like type the movie. Like he's like gonna talk the movie at her and she's gonna type it.
Yeah.
But like, oh, the catch is
There's a
that he
horror
already
movie in there. Quentin Tarantino's typist or something.
the catch is that he already sold the movie based off the title. And the producer he sold the movie to is coming to collect it, coming to Paris to collect the movie, like the script. But he didn't actually type it. He hasn't written a movie, right?
Yeah.
So him and his typist have 2 days to write a movie, and it's like a love, and the movie's like a love story, right? And it's like William Holden and Audrey Hepburn just kind of like fall in love, and it's very cute.
It sounds really sweet. I added it to my watch list immediately when you said I would like it because I consider your opinions that heavily.
Okay, I do think you would really like it. And then I saw Wicked for Good.
Mhm.
What did you guys watch?
Which you don't need to talk about yet. Owen, what did you watch?
I watched this John
The long pause you just took.
sorry. I watched this John Roland movie called The Living Dead Girl from 1982. And this is the second of his films that I've seen in the past like month or so. And I definitely want to watch more of his work soon. I'm really down with his whole vibe. That movie is really cool. Um, then I rewatched Lady in the Water, which that movie is so amazing every time. Paul Giamatti is I love him so much. Um, and yeah, that movie's everything. And then I rewatched The Wizard of Oz. I watched this movie at night on Friday, and then Saturday morning I watched Wicked for Good. So I kind of watched The Wizard of Oz, went to bed, woke up, and then at 9:30 a.m. Watched Wicked for Good in 3D. So I really got to
I also saw it in 3D.
it. I didn't really intend to see it in 3D, but I wanted to see it as early as possible so I could still have my day. So that was the early screening was in 3D. So I said sure. But The Wizard of Oz is really good, and I found over the years being online talking about movies. People are kind of really weird about that movie a little bit. Um,
In what way?
like I don't know, because obviously like there's a lot of infamous stuff that happened on that set and whatever, but like people like I just don't think people like that movie is really fucking good. And
Yeah.
sometimes people are like, "Oh, that movie is kind of like old, like kind of I don't know." I people say things that are very like blanket statements. Obviously
Mhm.
not everybody, but I found people that like don't like that movie for some reason.
Uh,
Um,
yeah,
it's
it's not my favorite
really
movie in the
fucking
world, but it does have a little bit of a maybe even more so of like the kind of Citizen Kane thing, where it's just like it is really old, right? And like
good.
everybody's like, "Oh, the movie's just like so obviously great," like for them growing up, and then they're like, "Ah, whatever." It's like old,
Yeah, I
whatever.
guess I
Yeah.
could see that, but I don't know. I just every time I watch it, I'm like kind of blown away by all of the movie making going on in that movie,
Yeah.
and it's super magical, and it kind of we'll get into it with the Wicked discussion, but it is it's tough to follow up that movie and like make a movie in that world and,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel it feels very kind of untouchable in a way that, like, you really have to bring your A game if you're really trying to follow that up. Uh, so, yeah. Um, I really like that movie a lot. It's a very special movie to me. Then I watched this in 2 parts 'cause it's a two-part miniseries, but it's also, like, just, like, a big 3-hour something film. It's the Edward Munch, Peter Watkins documentary. And Peter Watkins actually just passed away recently. Very important kind of documentary filmmaker. Or, like, it's like a documentary, but, like, I forget what the phrasing is
Like a
for
mockumentary?
not a it's not a
No.
but it's like a docu-fiction, because it's like
Okay.
documentary, but, like, there's there's not he's dead and, like, there's actors performing. There's a phrase for it, I could
Okay.
find the but
Yeah, you
I
could, not the most important thing right now.
but docudrama
Docudrama.
is
Okay.
is
Yes.
the phrasing. And I kind of struggled with this a little bit. It's very highly regarded, and I'm a big fan of Monk as a painter. So I've been like meaning to watch this for a while. And it has a very specific, like that docudrama style is very specific, and I enjoyed pieces of it, but it is a long 2-part miniseries that by the second part I was kind of like not crazy in love with it. But like this little like blurb where it's like the film covers about 30 years of his life, focusing on the influences that shaped his art, particularly the prevalence of disease and death in his family and his youthful affair with a married woman. Like that's a perfect little like, okay, I'm into that. But it's I don't know, it's very narration heavy. Like Peter Watkins is narrating it, and it kind of go weaves in and out of that narration, and then like kind of these scenes and stuff. It's beautiful. There's really some beautiful shots in it, but I don't know. It's something that I feel like I'm gonna have to revisit in like 15 years and maybe come like really push it on the back burner. But I'm interested in it just on like a level of like Peter Watkins being this very highly regarded filmmaker and it being a subject that I'm interested in. But as for now, I it wasn't my favorite thing. And then last night I watched something that I really adored and kind of was a I don't even remember how I stumbled upon it, but I was like, all right, we're gonna watch a movie. What the fuck should we watch? And then Love Affair is a movie. Leo McCarey, I've seen Duck Soup. Have you guys seen Duck Soup?
No.
No, that's the Robert Downey film.
No, it's
No,
Marx Brothers.
Marx
Marx
Brothers.
Brothers. Yeah, sorry, Marx Brothers. Sorry,
It's
sorry,
the
sorry.
Marx Brothers. Um, that movie is really great. That's the only other film that I've seen by Leo over here. And then Love Affair has Charles Boyer, who or maybe I don't know, but he's in Clooney Brown and he's fucking and a bunch of other stuff. Gaslight I haven't seen, but like that's the big. Um, he's a terrific actor, and I love him a lot. And this movie rocks. It's about these like two people and they meet on this like this ship and then like we're gonna like meet each other back in 6 months. They're like before sunrise, like they're like we're gonna meet each other in 6 months on the Empire State Building,
Okay.
and
Mm.
then she like gets like in an accident, like she's like going to the Empire State Building, and like she gets like hit by like a car or something.
Oh,
So she
damn. Like right at the finish line.
like literally like she's about to go, like she looks like there's like a really beautiful shot where there's the people like running to help her, and then like it pans up to the Empire State Building. So they end up not
Yeah.
meeting, and then like things happen. But it's really the direction in the movie is incredible. It's really really beautiful, and the performances are great. Highly highly recommend that movie. It's on Criterion. But yeah, that was my
Nice.
week.
I didn't watch too much this week. I did watch one of my favorite movies of the year that we're not really going to dedicate a whole podcast episode to, though I think we will probably talk about it at the end of the year. Cloud, the new
Yeah.
Kiyoshi
Mm.
Kurosawa movie, which I guess technically is like I don't know. I don't know if it's from last year or this year, but I could have sworn it got a theatrical release earlier this year, and it just wasn't near me.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it did, but I think like last year it played in festivals or
yes,
something, and then
right.
also I think it like leaked online last
Yes, yes,
year.
yes, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. But anyway, I finally watched that movie. It's on Criterion now. Would heavily recommend. It's really good. I don't want to say too much because we're gonna like talk about it at the end of the year probably, and
Yo,
also like people are just getting a chance to watch it. I guess I don't
is
know.
Kiyoshi Kurosawa the
Um,
baddest in the game right now?
no, I
What do
literally
we
was
think it
like thinking.
was?
No, I was like watching Cloud, and I was like, of course, I am not an authority on this, and there's so many people who I, have to watch movies from still. But every time I watch one of his movies, I'm just like, is this guy the greatest director alive? Like
Some
he
people
makes
would argue that.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't really think that like I don't think you can make a compelling case for any one person without having to bring up other people, but
Mhm.
like there is a like he exists as like one of the people that you could make the case for. Like it's just I don't know, like Cloud is so good, man. And it's funny because I guess I don't know, I guess it depends who you ask, but some people might say it's like not one of his best movies, and I haven't seen enough of his movies to really know what the difference between his best movies and his worst movies are, but like
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
incredible, So I'm like, if this is one of the worst ones, which I don't think it is, but in theory, if it was one of the worst ones, that would just be ridiculous.
It
I don't
is
know.
one of his lower rated films on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I think there's like, I think I don't know if this is a majority of people or like a loud minority, but I think there are certain people who don't like his like newer movies as much as his older ones,
Okay.
which like that could be the case. But I don't know. I mean, between this and Chime, which came out last year, I'm like, he's still got it. I don't I don't know what those people are talking about. He knows how to make a movie. Really well. So I would recommend Cloud to listeners of the pod. It's on Criterion for you all. I saw Wicked, of course. I watched or rewatched Vertigo. I don't know how this came up in conversation. My girlfriend and I were kind of like talking about a bunch of big movies that she hasn't seen, and we just kind of like we're putting together a list of like, oh, what should we watch tonight? And it was just like and then and she kind of just like immediately locked in on Vertigo out of that list. She was like, I have to watch
Real,
Vertigo, and I was like,
real.
yeah, I mean,
No, real.
you're right.
Yeah.
And
That movie's
rewatching it, I was
so
like,
good.
yeah, it's as good as everybody says. I don't know.
Yeah.
I watched it pretty recently, like a couple not super recently, but a couple years ago. I think I watched it and rewatching it. I'm like, yeah, it's still Vertigo. It it's great. Uh,
That's so funny. It's like when
it's
I rewatched Vertigo. When did I rewatch it? When I because I saw it in theaters. When I rewatched it, and I was talking about it on the
wish I saw it in
podcast,
theaters.
I it was like a religious experience. I was like, oh fuck. It was like
Yeah. Well, I would
literally
have
like I was
loved to see it in a
transcending into
theater. I
heaven.
mean, there's like a lot that I would
Yeah.
imagine I would just like adore on a
No.
big screen. That's like
Did you
not an
see it on
opportunity that I've
print though?
had.
No, I didn't. It was DCP, but it was so cool.
Yeah.
Print would
That
it would be
movie's
crazy
that
to see it on
movie's
the print.
No, I saw it on 70, I think, which
Oh
was
my
like
god,
yeah, like that.
Wow.
But I
swag.
remember like being kind of annoyed because like it's like the casual like rep theater like laughing shit that like it's
Mhm.
annoying. But like
No.
the print was amazing, so it kind of I could whatever.
Vertigo, I had like a horseshoe thing with Vertigo where I watched it. when I was like before I had seen like like thousands of movies, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I was like, oh, like it's like great, sure, like of course it's great, but it's like it's kind of
yeah, yeah.
overrated though, not the best movie ever.
Okay.
And then I like
That's
and then I saw it again like years later, and I was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
it's actually, if anything, it's underrated. If anything,
Yeah.
I think it is. I will go and maybe say that it is. I feel like especially among like younger, I don't know, even know younger, but like people like in their 20s, 30s, I feel like the average kind of modern cinephile is like maybe a little too low
Yeah.
on Vertigo because
Is
it
it
is really that good.
the highest rated Hitchcock movie on Letterboxd? It is the third highest rated
Under
behind
what?
Rear Window and Psycho.
I
Which is
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I
it's
mean,
better than
I don't
Rear
know.
Window,
I would go
at
out on a limb.
least.
I think I
And I
used
think
to
it's
say,
fair to say it's the best one. I think that's fair to say.
yeah,
Yeah.
I used to say like North by Northwest was my favorite. I don't think that's true anymore. I think that Vertigo really is his best one that I've seen. I've only seen 10 of his
Yeah.
movies, which that's 10 sounds like a lot, but he's directed, like
He's
Yeah, he's
directed
directed
a
like
ton,
a million.
and
yeah.
they're real like there's so many good ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
There's
so
a
many to
ton I
watch
haven't
still.
seen, but like
Yeah.
all of the ones I've like even like he The Lodger is like a silent film, like one of
Yeah, I
his
haven't
early
seen any of his silent
that
films.
movie's
Yeah.
unreal. And it's
Yeah.
like, so it's tough to be like what one of his best because it's like he's been making his career so long and there's so many movies and he was good the whole time. It wasn't like he had like a spike. But I'm very kind of partial to like Psycho and kind of his more
Right.
thriller kind of but I mean there he does a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
And I do
I would
I even like I said Vertigo, but like I feel like Hitchcock almost is
Hitchcock is kind of
himself is
underrated.
underrated, which
Yeah.
is crazy to say, but like he kind of has become like a verb and like a kind of idea where like people aren't really talking about him as a filmmaker and his movies. Of course they are, but like as much as
Yeah.
he it's like, oh, everyone knows Hitchcock, but like we're not
Yeah.
talking about how fucking good Hitchcock is.
You know what's really, I think, what we're identifying, and this is kind of fucked up. It's like as we get older, I think we're just gonna look at people that are a little bit younger than us, and it's just gonna happen. Like, and it's
We're
gonna get
fucking
worse as we get older.
old.
It's like they're all gonna like not fucking care about really old filmmakers a little bit more. So, because I'm thinking
Yeah.
like Hitchcock is like that, but I'm also like, bro, Akira Kurosawa is kind of
I
falling into
literally
that
was just about
too.
to say, Doug and
Um,
I had a kind of conversation off pod, like a similar conversation about Akira Kurosawa, where people just don't talk
Yeah.
about him as like one of like as just like the best filmmaker ever
Mhm.
anymore, which feels like
Yeah. Who
crazy
do
that
they
it just
talk
like
about
doesn't
that
even
way?
get brought up in conversation.
um, who do they talk about? Like Damien
Uh,
Chazelle? No, I'm joking. Like
oh
Christopher
my god.
Nolan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
Well, I
but
mean, it's like he's still making movies,
sure.
but like I
yeah.
don't know. It's very interesting. But yeah,
Uh,
we're old and washed and
No, yeah, it's just I don't know.
but it's
It's
like we're also not, you
yeah,
know.
we're
It's
not.
like
But it is like because like me and Kevin, to contextualize conversation a little bit more, when we were talking about Kurosawa, and again, Kurosawa and Hitchcock really do exist in the same kind of like
yeah,
large groups of academics would both consider each one of them like the single greatest filmmaker of all time, right?
yeah.
yeah,
Either one of them. And me and Kevin were kind of saying like when we were younger, like younger as in like like 18, 19,
Yeah.
yeah.
we
It's like
were in
5 years ago.
spaces. Yeah, right. But seriously, like we were in spaces where it was like, oh, it was very common to just hear people say like, "Oh, Kurosawa is that's the goat." Like just straight
Yeah,
up, that's the goat.
when I
Like,
was in
and it was
school
understood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for film, that was just like the conversation that seemingly, and I don't know because I'm not in school anymore, but seemingly these conversations aren't happening. But every single one of my classmates in any of my film classes in school was like, "Oh yeah, like Hitchcock is the greatest filmmaker ever," or like Kurosawa or whatever. Um,
Mhm.
which I don't know.
They don't
I don't know.
even
Maybe
watch
that is
movies
still.
anymore. I'm gonna tell you that.
I,
They don't
I
fucking
don't want to
watch
make like a
movies.
broad
Dog.
generalization of like
They fucking don't watch
people
movies.
entirely because that much couldn't have changed over a couple years, but it at least feels like it's
Yeah,
shifting.
it does feel like
Um,
it's shifting away from people accepting that, I want to say,
Well,
like
yeah,
accepting those
okay,
positions.
let me give you a little insight. There, something that I've noticed is very interesting. And I think this to me is like the power of and like the benefit of Letterbox, but also like when people aren't using that. Like, there's a lot of something that like will happen where people will be like, "Oh, I want to like watch more short films or more movies or whatever," and they'll kind of just like Google like good like this is I think it's very prevalent in, like short films and stuff like that because there are really great short films, but like if you Google like good short films, you're gonna get like some random YouTube video, like some like
Right.
kids, so like I think there's a lot of like um there's a great access and there's a great ability to find all these films, but like some people aren't really aware of like how to I don't know. I think like a lot because YouTube stuff and like that kind of
Are you saying that Letterboxd would hurt that or help that
no, I
though?
think people who don't use Letterbox are kind of
Sure.
like, I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
there's
Because I
like
was gonna
a
say I feel like
no,
Letterboxd
no,
probably
Letterbox. I
helps
think
that.
Letterbox is great for that. If you know how to
Yeah.
use Letterbox as a tool to find stuff, it's really
You want to watch
incredible.
great short films? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you go on Letterboxd and you'll see
Exactly.
like, oh, David Lynch directed 40 short films that I didn't know
Exactly.
about. You know,
But
like
I think if you're
But
just like kind of YouTubing like cool short film, you're gonna find some random thing with like a million views.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of like bad like content out there that has a ton of views that
Yeah.
you're gonna get first. Which I've just noticed as like we kind of did this like assignment where we like brought in short films to kind of like program and there was a very wide variety of quality of stuff like that
Right.
and I don't know, it's very interesting because I do think I've talked about this a bunch, but there's just such access to great cinema online, but are you taking advantage of that and stuff like that? So
Yeah. Yeah.
or do
And
you
I
even
would think
know that's a
even
thing that's out there, right? A lot of people aren't aware of the stuff
yeah.
that's out there.
I would think even if you don't know how to navigate Letterbox that well, it's helpful in the sense that like I don't know, how many Hitchcock and Kurosawa films are in like the top 250 on Letterboxd? You know what I mean? Like people who
Not probably not
even
that many.
no, probably a lot. I think.
Really?
I think there's like 8 or 9 Kurosawa films in the top 250.
There's more
Hitchcock
than
maybe
eight.
not as many,
I
but
have no
at
idea.
least
The
I
3 or
feel
250
4.
changes so much. I have no
yeah,
idea.
I haven't
Yeah.
looked at that shit in 3 years, I think.
Sure, but as like
I have no idea.
a resource for
Oh,
somebody
yeah,
who's
no.
just using
Yeah,
Letterbox or like
there's
just
8
trying.
Kurosawa movies in the top
Yeah, see,
250.
like that's you know what I mean. So
Okay.
if you're like
Is there
just trying to
I
get
feel
into
like there's only, like,
movies
3 Hitchcock.
or you're like trying to learn more about like what's important, and that is like the
Yeah.
resource you access, you will just find Kurosawa films and Hitchcock films. So in
Yeah,
that sense, I
no.
think it's helpful.
No, I do think
But
Letterboxd is
who
super
knows how
helpful.
long before those movies fade out because of 5 movies every year are being
Yeah.
added to that
Well,
top
that's the problem.
250 that
I
are
think I
probably
even,
not
like
deserving.
Wicked for Good, I think, has, like, a 3.8 right now, and all I've seen
Yeah.
is, like, kind of negative response to this movie, but
But
it
then you go
has
on
a
the
3
popular reviews for it,
yeah,
Right.
it's nothing but like super popular
yeah.
responses. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like
We're
I
gonna
felt like
talk
an
about that in a
alien. I felt like
minute.
an alien that existed in a different world when I
No.
looked at that. That was crazy.
It's
Yeah,
so
we're
weird because even, like I don't know, I feel like people have been, like, overall even people who like the first one have been like, "This one's
yes.
worse."
This is true. I think also a lot of people who like the first one just still love it when they admit that this one's worse, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I think a lot of people who are like first one 5-star masterpiece are like, yeah, the second one's a little bit worse. I'll give it 4.5. You know, like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't
Sure.
think they're like hating it. But anyway, the only other things I watched this week, Train Dreams, which we might dedicate a podcast episode to, but I will say I'm not like kind of similar to Wicked. I'm not like in love with it the way that a bunch of other
Train
people are
Dreams, kind of
wildly in
similar
love
to
with it.
Wicked.
No, that's
Let's
not.
fucking
Don't
put
pull
that
quote
on
that,
Twitter.
please. No, but like people are freaking out about Wicked. People are freaking out about Train Dreams, and I'm like,
Yeah, I
it's
know, which is kind of
I
off-putting.
yeah, I liked it.
But
If we dedicate a podcast episode to it, we could maybe dive deeper into that
yeah.
conversation. But I was not like as affected by it as a lot of other people seem to be, and we can hash out those feelings on a future episode. The last thing I watched last night, I rewatched Dead Poets Society for the first time since I was
Peter
like
Weir.
in high school, I guess, which is just your perspective, or my perspective at least, has shifted a lot, which is like it was like
Mhm.
fun, cute movie that I liked in high school, and now I am like in grad school studying to be an English teacher, and a
Yeah.
lot has happened since the last time I watched this movie. And I don't even know that like some of the messaging of the movie is like perfect. Uh,
The movie's a little intense, but
y-
yeah.
yes, it's a little bit intense, and it's also like, he's relaying all of this information to private school of exclusively white boys.
Mhm.
Uh, but regardless, it just kind of works, dude. I don't know. I cry at the end. I'm like, I think like at its core, especially if I'm going to like, which who knows if I end up actually ever spending a day teaching, who knows if this degree that I'm
AI is coming
pursuing
for you,
is
buddy, on the chopping
sure.
block.
Yeah. But don't say that. Uh but if I do, I think it's very sweet to just watch a movie about a teacher who like actually has an impact on their students. Which is I guess how teachers are like widely represented in cinema, but I don't know if it's like ever done as well as it is in Dead Poet Society. I think I think the way that they connect the students' lives to what he's teaching them is very sweet. And I like that movie quite a bit. And Peter Weir's a good director, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dead Poet Society. Anyway, let's talk about Wicked for good. Wicked Part Two. I want to start by talking about some things you guys already uh, hinted at, mainly that the movie was received very, very well. And we'll talk about the box office in a second. But you mentioned that you saw the movie at 9:30 in the morning, Owen, and Doug, you saw it at a normal prime time nighttime slot,
No,
correct?
I saw it at 10:15 p.m.
Oh, okay, cool. So I also watched it at 10:15ish or 10:30, but on a Thursday night. So my theater was not, super packed, and
Yeah.
mostly the only people there were other adults. I was wondering if either of you have experiences in a theater packed full of children watching this movie, and what that was like. I'm assuming there
Um,
maybe might have not been too many for you, Owen, if it was that early in the morning.
yeah, I
But
mean, I was in like the biggest room in this theater, but it was
right.
9:30 and there was also like there's a lot of slots for this movie.
Yes.
So like it wasn't like we have
It's
to
like
see it at
Avengers Endgame.
9:30 or we're gonna miss it. So like there was nobody in my row. And it
Okay,
was
so
very
pretty empty
scattered
theater.
out. But in the randomly, like I don't know when, but like maybe an hour or so in the movie, there was a baby that started crying. So I don't know what was
Oh
going
god.
on.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to gauge. I guess we all kind of conveniently picked times where we would avoid the loudest, most annoying crowd
Yes.
for this
Which
movie, but I was
when I
kind
saw
of
the
trying to gauge that crowd reaction.
yeah. When I saw the
Um,
first movie, it was packed,
yeah, same. I saw the first
packed.
movie in a I think well, actually I think I also saw the first movie at night, but it was definitely like a rowdier, like full theater. And this time I
Sure.
watched it in maybe like a little bit less uh excited of a theater. But what I will say is that the movie uh has received an A cinema score.
Mhm.
Is apparently being received, according to what I've read, because I guess none of us can attest to this, but apparently being received very well by young audiences, by children.
Sure.
Um, and it is the biggest debut ever for a Broadway adaptation, which was previously held by the first part, but this part blew that record out of the water. I believe the first part made 112 million in its domestic opening weekend. This one made 150 million and 226 globally this
This is
weekend.
gonna gross higher than
Um,
Avatar 3.
I don't think that's true.
Mm.
Is this gonna have the legs that
Higher than
Avatar
Avatar 3.
3 has? And also, the other thing,
That's crazy.
Avatar has the benefit, kind of like Nolan movies do, of people seeking it out in premium formats. Whereas like
Sure.
parents taking their kids to see Wicked will just be like, oh, we're saving money and watching it on a regular screen. You know what I mean? Parents are not like, we have to see Wicked in Dolby or
Yeah.
IMAX. Um, I don't think that will be the
And there's
case
a
with
reason for
Avatar.
that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to preface with that because this is we don't often sometimes we skip the biggest movies of the year depending on what they are. This is one of the biggest movies of the year, at least for a month until we talk about Avatar.
Yes.
But
Which I did see, there was since I saw it in 3D, they played the Avatar trailer beforehand in 3D, and that shit is magical.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
it
so
looks so
fucking
good.
good.
It looks so
It
good.
It's so good,
when
and
I
it's kind of
saw
crazy to watch that trailer
yeah,
and then watch
before this.
Wicked. Is
Yeah.
it is kind of crazy.
Were there any other 3D trailers that stood
Zootopia.
out? Oh,
Moana, the live action Moana
oh
movie.
god. Yeah, that's
I don't even think I was looking at the screen. But
yeah,
I did.
I tried to watch it
I
on my phone and
think
I
I
had
took
to,
my
like, turn it off.
I think I took my glasses off.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a movie that is that is worth talking. I also saw in the reporting something that was significant, and I don't know if you guys have opinions about this as far as box office movies go, but it's a movie very clearly catered to an audience of women and or young girls, and they made up over 70% of Friday's audience at least. And I was kind of looking through the biggest movies of this year, and it seems as though a lot of them were movies that were not marketed to large crowds of women and young girls, despite the fact that Wicked is making tons and tons of money. I don't know if you guys have opinions about that. Obviously, like on the children's side of it, I feel like we've had kind of recently a lot of big children's movies saving the box office. So
Yeah, that seems to be a trend. It's
I
also um it's just a really popular IP
yes,
Yeah.
Wicked.
for that demographic. Like it's like this is like
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the same thing was being said when like Barbie happened and Barbie made $1 billion. But like,
Yeah,
I think that these are really outliers. Because are we gonna say that like, granted, this movie didn't play in theaters, but like Frankenstein, are we gonna say that is not a movie marketed for young girl for young women? Like, is that a boy movie? You know, because like to me, it's like I don't know. I feel like lots of women
yeah,
are like
sure,
into that, you know. So I don't know.
sure. No,
And like
that's
there's
fair.
like Colleen Hoover movies are getting it. That
Yeah,
sounds
the Colleen.
rude,
Well,
but
that's what
like,
I was. I when I was
um,
reading this morning, I said to my girlfriend, I was like, the Colleen Hoover movies are definitely also a big deal for this reason. And they're, but it's weird because the Colleen Hoover movies are succeeding in like a space that hasn't been succeeding anywhere else. You know, like rom coms largely over the last couple. I guess Colleen Hoover movies are more like romantic dramas than romantic comedies. But even the new one is like attempting to do comedy. I saw the new one, and it's attempting to do comedy.
wait, you've
And
seen the
those are
new
movies that
one?
are not really succeeding in the box office or even being put into theaters, and yet the Colleen Hoover ones are doing great. But I guess that probably also serves your point because they're IP. They're adapted
Yeah.
from Colleen Hoover books as opposed to being original rom coms. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just thought I'd bring that up anyway. Uh, the actual movie, which, like I just said, is being received very well and making lots of money, is a movie that not any of us enjoyed. How do we begin to tear this movie down for listeners of the pod?
Kevin, what do you think about the politics of Wicked for Good?
Okay, actually, I first of all, the actual like on one level, the actual like political messaging of the movie, I think you mentioned this in your review on Letterboxd, even Doug, is like not great. But the other thing that confused me about the movie, which I think is like a larger problem, and I was even thinking about when Owen mentioned The Wizard of Oz, is that like Owen mentioned, he was like, "Oh, it's hard to follow up a movie in this world." I'm
Yeah.
like, are are these the same worlds? And do they like manage to successfully create? I know nobody's watching Wicked for Good and being like thinking about the logic,
Yeah.
but what do you mean her sister is the governor? What is that? What, like, how does that
The
work in
governor
the
of
world of Wicked
Munchkinland?
She's
for
the
Good?
governor of Munchkinland.
I'm just very confused. Were you not confused? Watch it like she's the governor of Munchkinland, and then they can't
What I was confused
leave,
by is why isn't a
but then he's
Munchkin the
in
governor of
Oz.
Munchkinland?
Whatever.
What I was confused because by like why wasn't a Munchkin the governor of Munchkinland? You know, that was what confused me.
Yes, sure.
Um,
That's another point.
It's fucked
I,
up.
uh,
I I just think the actual political structure, to like putting aside the politics, I think the actual like political structure of the world confused me because I was not processing how, like, are they not like, is the Wizard of Oz not just Like, what is she? She's just
So-
governing
Well,
Munchkin Land.
okay.
Yeah. The Wizard of Oz is like a single state president without elections,
Okay.
right? But there's no elections,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And then like there's like governors for each like city state.
Yeah. But there's probably a I'm giving benefit of the doubt there's an explanation on the reasoning for this because like Nessa and Elphaba's dad was the governor and then he
Oh, is
died.
it like a monarchy?
So I'm like, what?
Yes,
Did
they
just,
do mention that he was the governor.
he was
yeah.
the governor. Like that's his whole thing. Like, he was the governor of Munchkin Land, and
Wait, are
then
the
like
governors monarchs?
he died. And then like, did she like go through an election process, or did like
Or
she just
she
like
just took over.
Is Oz like feudalism? Are they
Yeah.
like what the hell?
But
Um,
also, doesn't he? Okay, never mind. I guess now, I guess because that's the other thing is that like this story like does some, I guess to part 2 we do some time jump obviously. So now he's just like
Yeah.
what's his name? Ariana Grande's husband.
Oh,
Fiyero.
right. Yeah, Fiyero.
No,
Jonathan
Fiyero is
Bailey.
Jonathan Bailey.
Oh,
I'm talking about her
you're
husband
talking
in
about
real life.
Oh,
Who
like
plays
real
the
life
mom.
husband.
Ethan
Fuck.
Slater.
Yes,
Fuck.
Yes,
Shut
Ethan
up.
I was
Slater.
like,
He's just like he's like stuck there now with Elphaba's sister.
Yeah,
he
shout
can't
out.
go to
Because he's a
Oz
munchkin.
anymore.
Because he's a munchkin.
Yes, 'cause he's a
and
munchkin,
she
and then
implanted
she
like
does.
racist munchkin.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
she's-
Okay.
But
I was just
the
confused
whole
at first
thing
because I was
there
like, "What do
is
you mean you
insane.
implemented travel
She's-
between?" Like, I'm like, "Is Munchkin Land
She's
not
so
part?"
crazy.
No, there's borders. No, Munchkin
Yes.
Land is a part. There's city states. Like they're all a part of Oz, but then there's
Okay.
city states, and then the
Okay.
Wizard of Oz, I think, is like one step higher than the
Can I
governor.
say something?
But you can understand my confusion, right? Like the movie doesn't really explain.
Yeah. Well, here's the part of what is tough about the whole concept of Wicked, which is kind of tough. I think is that the Wizard of Oz, Oz is a dream. Oz is literally a
Yes,
dream,
yes.
and then like the Wicked is like, okay, but what if that dream world was real?
Yes. I
And
wanted
it
to
was
talk about
like,
that as well.
and it's like from a different perspective, and like actually, the girl who is dreaming is like a bitch.
Yeah.
Like it's like
What were
what
you gonna
the-
say, Owen?
But I was gonna say like I think I've grown fond of Ethan Slater, and like I think he's like
Oh.
interesting.
He's
Okay.
a good actor,
And I
think.
feel like
He's kinda, yeah,
because I was
he's
like
not the
I was
worst
kind of
part
like
this
really
movie.
doing my research into his like work, and like he's really
SpongeBob.
not. What's the thing? He's like he's SpongeBob, and he's like he does that kind of stuff, but like he's not in a lot of. Apparently, he's in Gen V, the boys. He's like a
Oh.
villain in
Oh.
that boys spin-off show,
I
which I,
didn't know
did
that.
was not familiar with. But I think
You
he's
cannot pay
interesting.
me to watch that show,
Oh,
by the way.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I like this guy. I'm not gonna watch Gen V. But
Yeah,
like I
I've seen
like
the
him,
SpongeBob
and
musical he's in.
he's really not in this a lot, but he is interesting, and I do think all that stuff with him and Nessa is kind of weird.
Yeah,
It's
there
like
are
very bizarre.
there are bad supporting performances. I don't think Ethan Slater is one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
no,
talk,
I like
we'll
him
talk
a lot.
about.
Yeah.
we kind of have to talk about some of them, but
Yes.
let's start maybe with some of the lead performances first. What did you think about Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, and Jonathan Bailey?
Okay. Wait,
One at a
pause
time.
on
One at a
Jonathan
time. Let's
Bailey.
start with Ariana
Pause on
Grande.
Jonathan Bailey.
Let's
Ariana
start
Grande
with
and
Ariana
Cynthia
Grande.
Erivo. I think like I would say I like Ariana Grande's pop music, but like specifically like Cynthia Erivo, I would say like so obviously incredibly talented, right?
Yes.
Just like obviously such a talented person, right?
Yes.
Just not just like trying her best, you know, like
No, yeah, I know. And I
don't
felt
know,
it
it's
even
tough
more
to
in
be,
this
like,
part.
It's tough to be really down on those performances, because it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like the whole movie is kind of a mess, so it's like,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was thinking like I don't even know if I should say this on the podcast, but I was thinking like while watching the movie, so much of the costuming and makeup of the film I think is like fucking bizarre and whack. Like just like obviously kind of bad. And I was thinking like because there's a scene between Cynthia Erivo and Jonathan Bailey where they're singing and Jonathan Bailey is like, "You're beautiful." And then Alphaba, played by Cynthia Erivo, is like, "You don't have to lie." And I'm thinking like, you do look like an ogre. Like what the
my
like why do they
God.
make you look like an ogre?
no, it is. Well, they're like, no, she's like, they're like, it's like I just like see you a different way. Like I forget what the fucking line is, but it's kind of weird where they're like you don't have to lie about like you don't have to say I'm beautiful, and he's like and he doesn't like double down on it. Sort of, it's like I just like see you like they don't like see you like I do. Like I'm just like seeing you through a different lens that like
And
it's like really bizarre.
yeah,
Yeah,
and not only just because I think Cynthia Erivo is like very beautiful in real life, and I would like
yeah.
say like same thing with Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande, obviously a very beautiful person. In the movie though, I'm like Galinda looks kind of ridiculous. Like she has like this insane wig and is wearing like crazy like makeup. I'm like, where's what is the supply chain to get the false lashes into Oz? Like who
Mhm,
is developing the false lashes that that Galinda is wearing in Oz? You know,
mhm.
like I don't know.
Interesting. That's not something I thought of. Honestly, I didn't
No,
really
I
like
didn't think
I've
about that
never I've
either
never
at
had a
all.
problem with their costume. The only costume that like stood out to me as offensively bad this movie was the one that is revealed to us at the end of the movie.
It's so
Oh.
I I could not believe
Oh
what
no.
I was looking at. We'll get into
well, speaking
spoilers
of
in a
which, let's talk about
second.
Jonathan
But
Bailey now. What do you guys think about him in this movie?
I
Um,
okay, I don't know if I'm crazy here because clearly Doug has something very negative to say.
oh shit.
Recently, I have been charmed by Jonathan Bailey, and I feel as though maybe that is blinding my vision because I thought he was also similar to them too, just doing his best in this movie, and I didn't have any problems. Like I mean, his character is bad. Um,
I said this in the fucking what is that Jurassic World movie. I like Jonathan Bailey.
yeah,
I think Jonathan Bailey is very attractive. I think he's a very attractive person.
you don't think
Um,
he's a good actor?
I don't think I have the capacity to judge that in its
Okay,
entirety. I think that this is a really bad performance. Like I think like
interesting.
way worse than Ariana Grande or Cynthia Erivo's performances.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
know. It's like but she's doing stuff with this voice that I think is like so bizarre. Granted, it's like a hard role to sell because the movie's
mhm,
ridiculous, right? But it's
Yeah.
like the one song he sings. Granted, the song's terrible too, but like I was like the second he started singing, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I was like, "What the
yeah.
hell is happening?" His voice was crazy. It sounded like he was singing in a different voice than the character was speaking in. It was
Yeah. Okay.
um I don't know.
Hmm.
I could see that. I'm thinking less about here's what I'll say that I think is a also just like a problem with the movie um and I think people who you guys have you seen the stage musical or you like at
Uh,
all from or this is like Wicked is the movie is your only
I've
like
listened to the
knowledge of
stage
this
musical,
world.
but I haven't seen
Okay.
it.
Yes. So I think one of the other problems that I think is less of a problem in the stage musical is that like he is relied a lot on to be the like point of tension between the two of them like their interest in him romantically feels like such a big part of this movie as opposed to it just being about their friendship and I don't know if I like needed that. I don't know, like, I'm like, there's so much conflict in the movie involving his character, like, being in the way of them 2,
Well, turning into
and
like a love triangle, like
yes, and I don't think that it's I could be wrong, but my understanding, at least based on what I've heard, is that, like, the actual stage musical does not, like, do a full-blown love triangle like this movie does, um, so I don't know, I think that might also lessen his performance because I'm like, I don't know that that's, like, what he's supposed to be here for in this movie. I don't know. I'm not saying that that would make his perform. It definitely wouldn't fix his singing, but I don't know that what he's asked to do in this movie is like what like serves the story properly because I don't think that that's what the story is supposed to be.
right.
Um, so I that's a and I have many problems with the story that I don't know how to compare them to the stage musical because the entirety of these two movies is like over 2 hours longer than the stage musical. So I don't know which parts they like
yeah.
draw out, but
Yeah,
it
they
feels
needed
like
more
this part
characters or
2
something. They needed like more shit to be going on, probably.
there's
Like
does it not feel like so much of this movie is drawn like this feel
no,
while
the
I was watching
Wicked
it, I was like,
Forbid,
this
the
feels like
whole
it was supposed to be a 90-minute part 2. No,
The
like,
Yeah.
am
whole
I
thing
crazy?
feels like fluff. I was thinking that, bro. I was sitting in that fucking movie theater late as fuck at night, and my whole face was red because I was so angry. And I was sitting there watching this movie, and I was like, "This feels like such a fucking like
Yeah.
disrespectful waste of time. Like it feels like
Well,
my time is being lit on fire in front of me."
I
Like,
saw it like a little over 24 hours ago, and it's like, oh, like nothing happened in that movie. Like I just like nothing had really. It's not like a really memorable
none
anything
of the
in the.
motivations make any sense.
Yeah. It's
It's
just
it's like
Cynthia Erivo just flies. Oh, sorry, Alphaba, not Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia Erivo can't fly. Alphaba just flies into Oz and talks to the wizard, and like they're just
that
chilling.
stuff
I
is
was like,
so
"What the fuck is
weird.
happening? What the
That
fuck is
stuff is
happening?"
very
yeah.
weird. Where she's just like, oh, fine.
But
Like
just having a conversation is like, "Are you not like a super terrorist? Are you not like public enemy number? Are you not like the Bin Laden of Oz right now? Like, what the hell is going on?" Like,
No, but like that it's very weird where they're like, we can like make it's all cool now, and then like she like is casually reminded that like he's like fucking evil, and then she's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
fuck, like
he's
I
doing
for
like
like
animal eugenics or something crazy. Like, yeah.
Right.
what's so crazy where she's like, okay, you gotta let these guys out, and then we're cool, and then they're like, oh, there's more guys that you have like hit, and like fuck, like it's like you just freed some people, like you didn't think like I don't know. She's very forgiving very quickly, and then like remembers that
Right.
like he's
Because
fucking
she's so
evil.
clearly like has a motive, even backed up by like what happens in the first movie, right? Like it's like
Yeah,
she has a motive to be acting the way that she is, and then kind of abandons that motive as soon
and then
as
like
she
remembers her
gets there, and then
motive.
remembers she's like, oh fuck, like I was right in the first
Yeah, it's
part,
like
like duh.
yeah, she's
Um,
kind of dumb. Like it's
Yes,
like
I
little
it's
think
bit,
like
yeah.
Alphaba is kind of dumb.
it's
Yeah.
like what? Like
And I want to
Jeff
talk a little bit
Goldblum is
about.
not he's
Oh, go on.
bad.
Yeah.
Also, why?
I was more meaning like the Wizard of Oz is like bad. Like you knew he's
Yes. Yes.
bad.
Yes.
You what are you doing?
Well, also like
Right.
her point of this is also when like the politics in the movie I were making me mad because I was like, bro, there are like real world implications to kind of the stuff that you're saying, right? And that's what was frustrating me. Where it's so much about like, no, like you don't get it. Like we just need to expose his lies, and it's like, why are you being like, oh, the wizard is lying, and not like the wizard is racist and animals aren't the problem, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think that would be an easier thing to sell people on instead of like the
Yeah.
wizard isn't actually magical? It's like, who is that? What matters, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I want to talk a little bit about. There's a lot of plot details, and we got to talk about the animals a little bit too. But before we get to like the nitty gritty, I feel like we have to at least cross into John M. Chu territory, and also just how the movie looks.
that's your goat.
Um,
Defend your goat right now.
yeah, well, so someone on last week's episode commented that me defending John Chu every week is their favorite recurring bit on the
Yeah,
podcast.
defend him.
I just want to set the record straight. Um, I do not like John M. Chu that much. I he kind of just stumbled upon me at a vulnerable moment in my life. You know, if Step Up 3 came out a decade later, I, John M. Chu might be my least favorite director in Hollywood, you know? But because I watched that movie at the impressionable age of like 11, I have to, I have to defend him with my life. He is really bad at his job.
Yeah,
But
he's like really bad at his
seemingly
job.
none of that matters, and he's at the top of the world.
Yeah, well, sort of. Um, well, yeah. Uh, he does have uh he does have a lot of opportunity in this space, right? I kind of had to remind myself of like other things that he's directed. These are like big
2
mo-
Justin Bieber documentaries.
yes, but also
Shut up.
Crazy Rich Asians, very big movie.
Yeah, Nice
Now
to
You
Meet
See Me
You.
Too, big
Yeah.
movie. In the Heights, big movie. These are, and then of course the Step Up movie. Like he's worked a lot in GI Joe. I don't know how much money that movie made, but it's a franchise movie. I mean,
Yeah, Joe.
he's worked in multiple franchises. Um, he's directed some big movies. Uh, and this is like now the biggest one of the
It's the biggest
bunch.
movie of all time.
Um, well, okay, let's not go too far, but yeah, he's not good at it.
He's
His
incompetent.
upcoming
It's
projects
fucking
include
ridiculous.
"Oh, the Places You'll Go," a Hot Wheels movie, the Britney Spears biopic, a split fiction movie, and a Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcast movie.
Wait,
Okay,
that's the Sydney Sweeney split fiction movie, right?
Yeah, Cindy Sweeney
yeah,
split fiction
Imagine
movie.
that in today's climate. The John M. Chu, Sydney Sweeney split fiction movie.
yeah. That's well, it's interesting. So
Let's
he's
go.
kind of like, I think one point to talk about is that he between these movies, between In the Heights, and then of course like Step Up, and even some of his upcoming projects, like directs a lot of movie musicals or movies that have to do with music. Not only are the songs bad in this movie, but like they're not directed very well.
No.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys have opinions about any of like, you probably don't even remember specific songs in the movie. I don't, but I don't know if
Uh,
you have opinions just
yeah,
about
I mean,
how
there's
they were
just
directed.
it's kind of it's a disservice to the performers when it's like it's just not. I don't know. It's very like it plays more like you're listening to the music than you're like
Yes.
watching it.
And again, maybe this is just my lens because I was the age watching Step Up 3 that most Wicked fans are going to be watching this
Yeah.
movie. But something that like stands out, and that the internet has even proven to be true with like how often at least I see stuff about Step Up on the internet. Obviously this is like my little corner, but like, but it seems at least that like the dance numbers in the Step Up movies like are memorable to people, right? Like they like people remember these specific dance numbers as like kind of an iconic thing if they're fans of that movie.
Yeah.
I like it the music numbers in this are so like void of anything that I
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
can't remember them at all, I feel like what would be iconic about them beyond the songs themselves, I
Well, that's
guess,
what
which
it's a very interesting kind of these movies have so much source material. They have so much like iconic stuff going on in them, and it kind of these movies suffer from like not being able to do anything for themselves, where it's like, okay, you have to come up with like an interesting way to, you know, shoot, choreograph, and like kind of uh assemble this iconic song for film. Like that's your job.
right.
And they kind of just like lean on like they have the iconic song and that's like good enough, but they're not able to kind of add their like there's not they're not bringing anything to the table outside of like
Right.
it being wicked. Like it's
And
wicked, like you have that. Like now what
yes.
are you like adding?
And most of the songs, and I don't know if this is how the musical goes, but I would almost certainly guess it is not. Most of the songs are broken up by story. Like they'll sing a song and
Yeah.
then have like a 5-minute scene and then go back to finishing the song that they started singing.
Mhm.
Whereas like in a stage musical, like the information is just conveyed to you
Yeah.
by the song. Um, and it, yeah, I don't know. I felt a lot of times during this movie like it didn't want to be a musical. Like
Mm.
I don't. Am I? Is that like wrong to us? I don't know. Like that's kind of how I felt. Even
Yeah.
like because there is like so much of what Doug said, which is like it feels like a filler movie,
Yeah.
and like the movie is so focused on so much of this stuff that's not the musical numbers, and then the musical numbers are directed so poorly that it's like, did you want this to be a musical? I don't know.
Yeah. I think I have a problem with the film where it's like to me it kind of is simultaneously like very over explaining every like little bit, but also then
Yes.
like it like jumps around and like doesn't explain shit, and it like gets confusing. But like we talk about Wizard of Oz being a dream, and then it's like, what if we like explained every little bit of that
Yeah,
dream, like and like, but
right.
also
And like
um
literalize all of it. Like now it's not a
exactly, and it's but
yeah.
then like it does. I mean, it's an audio like, of course, this is a film for younger audiences, but it is very like spoon like when we're talking about breaking the song and like explaining and talking and stuff like that, and like just like
Yeah.
shoving information and kind of bloating it and stuff like that. Um, it's very it's boring.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
like
where
bland and like okay, like come
and
on.
and we have like no obviously we have no lens through which to like judge how kids feel during this movie, but I'm like, would kids not enjoy the songs playing more than like stop? You know what I mean? It's like, would a kid have fun listening to like 20 seconds of a song and then have like a 5-minute scene happen and then finish the
Yeah.
song? You know what I like?
Yeah,
Wouldn't kids want
I
to
don't
just like
know. It's like
sing
an
along
audio
to the song?
visual like Cocomelon thing going on, so they
Yeah.
might be getting a kick out of it.
Sure. I feel like my guess is that a lot of like the reason why kids are just like loving the movie is because of like Glinda and Elphaba. And it's just like that, like seeing that, you know what I mean? Like um I don't know if they're like getting much out of like the music, for example. Or maybe they are.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm not
Well,
a
there's like
parent of a small child,
there's
but
added song like they added songs for it.
yes,
They
which
wrote
I
new
wouldn't
songs.
know which ones those are, but they're probably I'm assuming they're bad because all of the
I'm
songs are
they're the
bad.
ones that I don't remember.
So
I think that's the it's like
right, yeah.
so I don't
There's one song that I was familiar with, and then one song that Defying Gravity or
like
whatever that
come
they're
back
like
to
doing
that.
again. Yeah,
It's like they have
but
one like that's
and I
like the
saw a
real
tweet today,
hitter.
like I saw like a tweet today about how John M. Chu said that they like that the scene with the two of them where they sing with like the door in the way was like improvised by them. They just like started singing to each other and then he like kept rolling, which is like what
Yeah,
the
I
fuck?
saw that too, which I was kind of confused on like they improvised the door. What do you mean? I was like a
Yeah,
little like
I
I was a
yeah.
little confused
He
on like
said that
what
he
he
was like, there was no door there actually, and I was like, what?
yeah, I was a little like kind of confused
What
by
does
what
that
he
mean?
meant by that. I need him to over explain that part because I don't know what he mean by like
Um,
they were just like improvising a door and
yeah,
I was just like cool.
yeah. Okay, we've talked about
Um
the music a little bit. We talked about John M. Chu. You guys want to mention anything about how the movie looks? I mean, it's not
okay,
better than the first
I
part,
wanted to
you
bring
know?
this up because I was like I honestly do think and I know people are like a lot of people don't like 3D. I think 3D helps ugly movies.
Mhm.
I do think I like am like more able to like or like I get less nitpicky because when 3D is providing this like really strong depth to the image, it like
Yeah,
becomes a different thing. And it becomes
right.
more of like I feel like I'm in like those like when you're at like Universal or something and you're on and you're like it's like the
It does turn it
video
into more of a
it,
theme park
the
ride.
vision it becomes like the
Yeah,
visual for like the like it's like oh I'm doing like the Wicked ride right now and I become less like because it's such a shallow focus like kind of sludge thing but then like when there's like
yeah,
things like flying in your face and there's like because a lot of modern movies don't have depth in their image so the 3D kind of adds that which so it's ugly and it looks like garbage but I think I was like less annoyed by it watching this time because of the 3D.
There's like some fine images in the film.
yeah. I
But
mean, there's not, you know.
There was like one
eh,
where like it's like Jeff Goldblum and they're looking through like the gears and it's like okay that's fun.
Sure,
they're like
yeah,
there's the flashback that Elphaba has where they're all like in a field and there's that close up of Jonathan Bailey and I was like, oh, this looks nice.
yeah.
The okay, I
It
have something to
did.
say about that.
Yep.
They do these like flashbacks to them like being friends and it's like this shit is not in the it's like oh they're like everyone like they like had like all these great times together. Don't you guys remember these great times? I'm like no. Like this shit it's
No,
like
No,
I think
it's like what?
they're flashbacks to between the 2 movies, right?
No, I know. Sure, that shit is weird. It's like, oh, like these guys are
Yeah,
pals, and it's like we didn't like you bloated. You made this shit so bloated and add all this stuff, and it's like the stuff like that like actually would add emotional weight to. It's just like it happened, and there's like this weird
Yeah,
like they're in the field shit. Like I don't know. I feel like
yeah.
those flashbacks would be stronger if like it actually happened.
Yeah, I will say I also I agree with Doug that he's not shooting 0% from the field, but I did feel
It's really low though.
it's really low, and I did feel extremely I was just, like, so bored during the movie,
That's the
but then
thing. This was
This is
eventually my boredom, like, led me to be like, "I gotta think about something," and the one thing that I
yeah, that's what
couldn't
I was thinking
stop
about the
thinking
fucking
about.
makeup because they would cut to a close up of
Sure.
Ariana Grande, and I'm like,
And
huh.
similarly, I was thinking the whole time about the production design, and I was like, "These poor people," you know what I mean? Like, has anybody suffered as much as the people who did the production design for this movie and don't get any of it rewarded? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's like
I
you
feel
can't
bad for
even.
production designers because they're usually like so talented, right? They're do
Yeah,
such great work. Same feel the same way
like,
about Frankenstein, right? Where granted Guillermo del Toro
yes,
is like more
exactly.
involved with that, but it's like
yeah,
incredible production design on those
Mhm.
movies. But it's
Yeah.
like they're just like
No,
the movie's doing it a disservice. Like
I think that's a big
yeah,
issue with most fantasy for the last couple decades,
yeah,
where it's like you're bringing in these very talented people to make these beautiful sets and stuff, and then I think a lot of, for whatever reason, the filmmakers that are attracted to these kind of things um don't really know how to frame these kind of things or like aren't
yeah,
really
and
interested in framing them. It's just kind of like,
yeah,
oh, it's got this beautiful set, like we just kind of like show the set and that's
right,
enough. Where it's less of like, because when I guess it's more like, because when you're just out in the world and it's like a real place, it's like, how do I
right,
frame this place? But when you're building this like beautiful stuff, it's like, oh, it's so amazing. Like you're less like approaching it like it's a real fucking place, and you're like, oh, it's so
right,
like I don't know. I don't really. There's a lot to kind of sit on and kind of think about it, but like I just think it's an overarching theme with these fantasy films where they're not really composing images and they're just kind of like
yeah,
letting the these big sets kind of just be there, but then like they're hurting the sets through that. Like it's like, oh, I don't know. There's this weird relationship that they have with the images that they're creating.
yeah,
But I feel like it's like a Tim Burton thing. It's now with this Del Toro movie and Wicked and I it's there's a bunch
yeah,
of it. You don't know,
I don't
but
know. It's strange. I think that uh in stop motion films where everything is built right, it is like
yeah,
you don't I don't know, but maybe that's because it's so hyper stylized that everything feels crazy. These movies just need to be stylized more, you know. It's like
yeah,
John M. Chu trying to capture like Oz, like kind of like, oh, like what if it was like kind of real, you know? And it's like, well, Oz isn't real, you know. Well, what
yeah.
if
Well, I
we?
had this
yeah,
thought.
It's like Game of Thrones cinematography.
I had this thought when watching Wicked because like I love digital and I think it's really interesting. But I was just thinking about like they shot Begonia on VistaVision, and VistaVision's become such a big thing recently, and like we're and when watching The Wizard of Oz and thinking about that, I was just like, you like this is a big ass movie. You could literally shoot this on anything you wanted to, or like anything
Yeah.
available. Like you could have, and like it could have looked really good. Like
yeah,
it's like it's not you had all the resources in the world to make this look
yeah,
really good,
Well,
and
so
like
I mean,
why?
I Sam Raimi
Yes,
directed Oz the Great and Powerful,
yes.
which is a movie that looks pretty good, I think, right?
I
mhm,
so I like I saw that in theaters when it came out, and just the little bits I remember, like it's at least trying to do visually interesting things,
Yeah,
and
it's very colorful.
that movie is not well regarded,
That's the thing though, right?
but it's
Yeah.
interesting because it's like eh, what it becomes what is important to people, right? Because
but like,
but it's interesting because people talk about this stuff. Like it's not like we're the only people talking about it looks bad. Like
yes,
people
But
online talk about this stuff, But
But people also think it
it's
looks
still
good.
making $1 billion
that's what I'm
though.
saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Where it's like this isn't like a uh people aren't like being like, oh, this is like there's certain people, of course, that are like, oh, this looks beautiful, whatever. But like it's not like some secret. You know, it's like very openly like John M. Chu is being asked in interviews, like, why does it look like this, dude? And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I
it's,
think
Nothing
it's
matters,
also
and we should all kill ourselves.
it's like
well,
Yeah.
I think it's just confusing that I just struggle to understand beyond like children who are going to see children's movies. I struggle to understand like what about this is appealing to an adult. Because it's like even like as just like even if you don't care about the movie looking good, it's like the songs are bad and the story sucks.
I don't know. What really
Like
rubbed me the wrong way, which I felt really crazy. I'm gonna get fucking really insane right
yeah,
now. So
yeah,
bear
yeah.
with. Tell me to stop if it's too crazy. Alphaba flies down into Oz and is talking to all of these animals that are constructing their own underground railroad to go flee persecution. Right. Um,
yes.
and Alphaba is saying like, no, you can't leave. We're gonna expose the wizard's lies if you just stay and help me, right? And then she starts thinking about like, there's no place like home, and you guys are what makes Oz home. And it's like, okay, awesome. Tell that to the Jews in Nazi Germany, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, like what are we talking about? Like that's how crazy it is to me. Whereas like what is the message here? Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like what it's like it's not it's they're not fleeing like segregation, which is also really terrible. They're fleeing like eradication, like
Yeah.
Oz, like the Oz
Yeah,
policies.
he's putting them in cages and like
He's
killing
putting them in
them.
cages and giving them like drugs to make them not be able to speak. Like
Yeah.
It's like
it's like
what?
literally they're literally like fucking Jews in Nazi Germany, bro. And
Yeah.
they're talking about there's no place like home. Like what the fuck? What are you saying right now? I don't know. Like that was crazy to me. That was so crazy to me. I don't know how you guys
Yeah.
feel, but like that
No,
was
it's you know, it's hard to like really focus on the politics of the movie when so much of it is just like hard to watch,
Yeah.
but I agree that it's, you know, it's not done well. I don't think the movie I don't think the movie has anything good to say. And but also this is the other thing is like you're talking about and you mentioned like the Sam Raimi Oz movie, but even in like excluding that example, like there are plenty of movies um that look good that people hate, right? And like a lot of like their
Sure.
logic is like, oh, you know, the story didn't make any sense and or like, you know, whatever, like it was boring, whatever. Like we see this all the time with like
Yeah.
popular movies like getting ripped apart for X, Y, and Z, right? And
Sure.
it's like that stuff is just in my head, I'm like, how, like, what is different between this movie and those movies?
Yeah.
And yet it has like a 3.8 on Letterboxd, like you said, and people are like loving it. And I'm like, I don't like, does something just have like, is there just like a piece of rhetoric that exists where like one person says something about a movie and everybody like clings onto it and they're like, yeah, that movie sucked. You know what I mean? Like, it's like this movie has all of those things, like all the things that people like, even just big, like, you know, hated superhero movies where people are like, oh, this is like confused, you know, like when people like hate on a specific Marvel movie, like Eternals or whatever, right? And they like complain about all this shit that's wrong with Eternals. I'm like, that's happening in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
it has to do with
what are,
fandoms, I think, and Wicked is really kind of an interesting cocktail of fandom because it is both like the Wicked IP, like that has a fandom, and then Ariana Grande is like a tremendously famous pop star, right?
sure. Yes,
Like
that's,
like
this
like
is true.
like like literally like one step below Taylor Swift. Like that's how like
Yeah.
incredibly famous she is. And then also
Yeah.
like Cynthia Erivo is super famous in her own right and has
Yes.
her own fandom. And
Yeah.
it's like all of that stuff is like blending together into like this like
Yeah. Well, they'll just like defend it no matter what.
yeah.
Sure. I
Yeah.
guess that's true. And I think I've seen people who are fans of the stage musical just be like, these movies are bad, but I'm assuming that's just a minority,
No, those
compared
people
to the
exist
majority
for
of people who
sure.
are
I
like,
mean,
uh,
there's like normal people who are fans of the stage play. I'm sure.
yes, sure. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm sure I would just like the
No,
stage musical. To be honest. Like, I'm sure
after
I would just
I saw
enjoy
the
it.
first movie, like after seeing the first movie, I was like, oh yeah, I'd probably like have a good time.
Yeah. I'm
It
sure I would enjoy it,
seems
especially
fun.
because it's fucking 2 hours shorter than these 2
Yeah. Well,
movies.
that's
Like
kind of like I'm getting at like my sort of thing where it's like this is shit that like I'm like interested in. And I'm like I have this like weird like relationship to this
Yes.
franchise where I'm like invested in it sort of. Where I'm like
This franchise being The
I'm
Wizard of Oz or
no
Wicked?
Yeah,
well
sure, like The World of
no,
Oz.
just like specifically Wicked. Well, I mean like I
Oh,
love
okay.
Wizard of Oz, but I'm saying like with Wicked, I'm like I am interested in this in a like
Yeah.
horrible way where I
And
show
no,
up
no,
and
okay.
I'm like, this shit is awful, but I'm going to like stay here and I'm going to like listen to this bullshit because
Yeah.
like this is what we get. It's just like this is what it is, and I'm like I sit here, I'm like this could be good.
Yeah.
I watched this, and that's like my review. I was like, I feel like this kind of like parental thing towards these like shitty fantasy movies because I'm like, this stuff should be good and could be good, and I'm like, what is going on? And like, it all
Yeah.
comes from the top, and like the people in charge, the people controlling these things, and creating these things. Because I'm like, it's kind of it is a layup and it's such an obvious layup because you could they literally fucking did it like with no they were blind and they just threw it up and it magically went in but it like it could be good too it doesn't
Yeah.
like it's like
I
it's so
Sure.
where it's
No, no,
like
yeah, I
I
agree.
see these stuff like with Frankenstein and people aren't gonna like this, but like Nosferatu, I felt the same, like similar, like, very different stuff, right? But I'm like, I'm seeing this kind of like these fantasy adjacent things, and I'm like, what is going on? And I feel but I'm like still invested in all of this garbage because it's the stuff I'm interested in. But the stuff I'm interested in, I feel, is not being made at a quality that I feel like it could be.
Yeah.
And it's very confusing. But then also, this stuff is accepted in positive ways because I feel like
Yes.
it
And that's
reminds
the
me and
problem.
it's very similar to the way people talk about horror and people talk about Marvel, where it's like these people are gonna like that shit no matter what because they're gonna accept the quality that they get because they're interested in that stuff. Where it's like, oh, I like
Yeah.
superheroes, I like horror movies, I like fantasy stuff. Okay, whatever the best thing they're gonna give you is, you're gonna be like, okay, this is what we get. I like this, cool. But people don't really
Yeah.
like
Bro,
don't
you are a
they,
genius.
they
That was
don't
a
like they're
beautiful
not
yes.
like really asking for higher quality because they're not like it's like okay I have to accept this because there is no other like thing. It's like
Yeah,
this is it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fight that as somebody that is like a fan of like movies broadly, right? That's like, and the right come off course. I feel like a little really negative sometimes in our episodes where Kevin like
Yeah.
kind of got annoyed because like I try to fight back this where I'm like I like movies, but like I don't want to just accept like oh this is like
Yeah.
what new movies are sometimes. I don't want to like I really don't want to just like sink into that
Yeah.
Mhm.
where it's like oh
Yeah.
like no it's like no like they can be good. They can
They
be
could be
good.
good.
Not every movie has to be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Where it's like if you're a
And
fan of the Wicked musical, it's like okay, this is the Wicked movie, and it's like you kind of have to accept some of its flaws because this is the Wicked movie, and it's like
right.
the Wicked movie could be good. It could be good.
Yeah, and I think also I haven't mentioned it this podcast yet because we've only been negative, but I think I kind of agree with your sentiment that like this is a world that I kind of want to like. Like on paper, I'm just
Yes.
like, and not even, and I don't mean like the Wizard of Oz, like you said. Like I specifically mean Wicked. I'm like, this is just a story that would
Yeah.
appeal to me. And I felt that way watching the first movie, which I liked more than this one.
Yeah.
And then even more specifically, like something that I really liked about this movie. Doug mentions like the awful politics, but like straight up, like when Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are on screen together and the movie is just like a movie about friendship, I'm like,
Yeah. Fun.
this is kind of my
Chill.
jam.
Yeah,
Like I'm
I
like,
love
to
Ariana
me,
Grande.
No,
That's
it's
why I
yeah,
like
to
want to like
me,
the Ariana Grande movie. I like her a lot.
no,
yeah,
Like
I
I
exactly.
know.
grew up
I
loving
I
her
It's
like
like
music.
both of them a
Like
lot.
it's like
Like when they're together, I'm like rooting for them. I'm like, I
yeah,
actually like this. Like I'm like, if anything about this like worked, I would just be like defending it because I
yeah.
like them together so much.
Well, I was thinking
Um,
about I keep thinking about Wonka as like a super
yeah,
like adjacent movie that is just like better in like every way, like
yes,
on like a filmmaking level, where it's like it's
yes.
very similar. Where it's like here is like
I thought about it too.
fantasy
Yeah,
kind of world with a big IP, that like is a musical, and it's just well made.
Yeah.
And it's
And the
like,
thing is that people like Wicked more than
it's like
people
what the
didn't like
fuck?
Wonka.
What the fuck? It's very disheartening and confusing, but like they feel so similar in a way that
They
like
do.
they're like it's such a like the jump there isn't big, but it is such a
Yeah.
big jump.
Yeah. It's like I
It's
wanna buy like, you wanna buy into this stuff. Like, I do
it's
just wanna, like, you know, that's
bro.
yeah, I felt that way the entire time watching it. Literally the whole time. Every time there was a scene and it was Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo together, I was like, "Dude,
Yeah.
like, I wanna like
Should
this
leave
movie
me in the theater. I
so
was like,
bad."
fucking make me.
Yes, that too. But I but, like
Yeah.
but I wanted to like it so bad. I was like, they're just, like, so compelling on screen together that I'm like, if any of that like, if the songs were a little bit better, if the movie didn't look like shit, I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I like, fine." Like, it's like the story could suck, and they're so good together, like, I would've just been like, "Yeah, it's good," if just
Yeah.
any of it worked, and, like, none of it does. I do I mean, we gotta get back to the negative. There's still some stuff we haven't talked about.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Michelle Yeoh needs to
Supporting
get the fuck out of these
performances.
movies, bro. Michelle Yeoh needs to
What's
get the
going
fuck out
on?
of these
What is
movies.
going on with
Like
Michelle
truly,
Yeoh?
I will say it, like Michelle Yeoh, and like legendary actress. She's in so many movies
Legendary.
I love that you guys haven't even seen, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't. She needs to get out of here. Like her worst stuff, and it's not even close. I mean,
It's
I don't know.
bad.
She's in the what is it, like Kenneth Branagh, the oh yeah, the haunting in Venice. She might be
Yeah.
bad in that. I don't know.
She I mean, it's not a good movie.
I don't
But
remember
like
her.
these, man, she's so bad. It really like it's like the same. I to me at least, it's like the same performance as the first movie where it feels like except she has a bigger role in this movie. It feels like she's reading off of cue cards.
It's so
Yes.
bad.
She's reading off of cue cards the whole time. And I don't know if it's like
Why did they make her sing? Like,
She's supposed to sing.
no, but couldn't they have just like written around that? Like,
No,
couldn't they
I
have
think
just
it's
like cut that
there's
song out of
like
the movie?
some like quote where she's like, John, like I can't sing. And he's like, oh, that's fine. Like don't worry about it. Like he's like, I want you. You're gonna be in this movie. Like I don't go. Like it's fine. Like we'll
yeah,
figure
that's
it
the
out.
thing where it's like Michelle Yeoh and John M. Chu, I think, are like either friends or have like super friendly relations, like professional
Yeah.
relationship. So it's like she like
Yeah.
she has this job. She's gonna come back for Wicked 3. Like this is her job.
Yeah.
But
Also, Jeff Goldblum, not crazy about anytime he's on screen.
well, he's just doing Jeff Goldblum stuff.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? Okay, I say this. I had this thought when watching the movie, where I was like, I don't even know if he's really good at. Like, I'm not even saying he's good or like. But I was like, Jeff Goldblum rocks, and I like really like Jeff
Sure.
Goldblum, and I'm like, I wish like he was in a good movie that I was watching right now because he is in great movies and he's great in great movies. But I'm like, and it's like actually like good. I feel like it's good casting, but it's like what he's like. He's just kind of doing. It feels like he's just riffing and they're like recording him. It's like okay, but I'm like I like Jeff Goldblum, I do, and I think it's good casting. It's just like the movie's bad, so it's like
Sure. I agree that it's good casting. I don't know that he's like
yeah, I'm not.
he's at his like
It's not.
he is like a guy who I adore, and he's at like his least appealing in these movies. Like I just like
It's
you
well,
know.
I think it goes back to like how like weird they are, like that role works in the movie, where like it's like he's like a bad guy, like he's a really bad guy, but also like we're chill with him for this moment, we're having a conversation, and we're singing with him,
Yes.
so it's like they don't, it's they can't, they're not gonna push him being like fucking evil because it's like a kids movie. I think that's maybe a problem with the thing where it's like it
Yes.
probably needs to. Is it PG?
Yes.
It probably needed that bump up because I feel like it's like there's no like it's like you're doing these like we're talking about Nazi Germany like in this podcast, and then we're like, but he
it's like
can't.
how like it's like
No, I
kind of
know
what's
that's what
going
I'm
on.
saying. Where it's like
yeah.
it's like these like the politics of the movie are involving like these themes that are like of persecution, but it's PG, so we can't make him like totally a bad guy all the time. Like we
Yeah.
have to be chill with him for a second. It's like no,
Well, I mean, there are people who are just straight up villains in PG movies.
yeah, no, I'm
But
sure, but I'm saying like
yeah, but
it feels
but
like
he has
they're
to like do a fun song and dance.
no, I know.
So.
So I'm like, it feels like we're holding him back a little bit because
Yeah.
of the nature of that. But that also just might be the nature of the. I feel like it's just the nature of the thing.
Yeah.
But it's like it
Um,
is weird when we're talking about like the politics of the movie when he's just kind of like I don't know, the way that like Elphaba and the wizard kind of interact is kind of
Yeah.
bizarre.
One other thing that we haven't really mentioned on this episode, although I guess we've kind of like very specifically danced around it a couple times. There are it is an adaptation of the musical, which is an adaptation of the book, and both of them do this as well. But like the movie, uh, just like using characters from The Wizard of Oz, the way that this movie specifically does. You talked a little bit about The Wizard of Oz,
Oh,
but we haven't talked about those
yeah, I
characters
think
being in
this
this
shit is
movie.
awful. I
Yeah.
think this is the most glaring thing I felt in the movie, where
This
I
is when
was
the movie
like,
gets to be like really bad, I think.
I think
Yes.
it's very bad, and so there's a lot of conversation about, like, them not showing Dorothy's face, and I think that's fine, but I feel like the movie operates in this weird mode where they're like, "You know what the fuck happens, so
Well,
we
it's
can just,
doing
like,
yeah, it's comedy
skip
editing.
that shit. We can just, like, skip that shit." And it
Yeah.
Yeah.
feels so weird because specifically the moment that I think about the most is right after, um, Fiero and Elphaba have sex, and then like the fucking house falls on her.
Right.
There's this like weird moment where like Fiero goes and like gets the flying monkeys and all this shit's going on, and
No, like once
it's
the
like
house
cutting.
falls, the movie like starts sprinting, and like the
It's like
movie is
fucking,
like,
and I'm like, what
yeah,
is
it's like
going
we gotta
on?
get through this shit as fast as
I actually
possible.
don't know what's going on, and everything's like going crazy, and I'm like, I totally don't understand what's happening. And then all of a sudden, Galinda's like, "Bye, Dorothy. See you later." And I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?" Like, it like totally skips. Obviously, like it's like we're not gonna recreate that, but like you have to do like it just like it really frustrated me in the way that like we just kind of like sped things up, and then now we're like the aftermath of that, and it's really confusing. um I just think there's a stronger way. There has to be a stronger way to film that. There has to be a stronger way to convey that, and like
Yeah.
it's just
With
really
all of them,
weird.
I really hated the scene, which I assume the movie adds in. When there's like a scene where like the crowd starts to form, and the Tin Man is like he's like talking shit in the
Oh
crowd,
no,
like getting everybody.
that's in the
It is
play, yeah. Because I
okay.
keep
I
saying
didn't
people
I
talking
didn't like
about
that.
Ethan Slater's performance and how mean he is, how angry
Yeah.
he is, and how that's very different from the play.
Oh,
Like it's like
interesting.
he's less angry in the production or
Yeah.
the musical.
I just
Um
really don't think that like any of those characters being there makes sense. To specific, also like when the lion shows up, I was like, "This is
Coleman Domingo shows
Colman
up
Domingo." Yeah,
Domingo,
and
no,
he's
I know,
like,
but like when
she
he
said
shows up,
when I was
like that whole
little.
like
unrecognizable.
no, but like how they tie him into the story, I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like I was like, this is
Yeah.
dumb. When he
No, it
like
is.
shows up early and explains it, like
Yeah.
what? I was like, what is happening?
She
Like,
didn't let him fight his battles
Yeah,
when
she
he
didn't
was
let him fight
young.
his own battles, and now he's a coward.
yeah,
He's
I
a
was like,
ba-
what? Like who did that? Like what?
Yeah, I mean that's like from the like the musical, which
No,
is
I
like
know, and it's bad. I like
no, I
that's
know that's what
stupid
I'm
too.
saying. Where
I
it's like,
think.
well, that's also I think I mean, do we don't know, do we bring this up? Like this is like a common thing where like people are like, yeah, the second half is bad or like worse,
Yes. Yes.
and it
That's
doesn't
like a
help that
commonly
like
held, but
the
yeah,
the first movie is a bad movie, but like it's the better half of the like actual text
story.
where it's
Yeah.
like this is the worst part, and like the movie's not any better, so it's just like
Yeah.
a mess.
I look back on my letterbox log for the first Wicked, and I said that the movie suffers from prequel-itis, and the musical also, like the stage musical, also does this. And I
Yeah.
was and I kind of said that I really like dislike that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And one of the comments on that letterbox log was like, "Oh, I guess Furiosa didn't suffer from prequel-itis," and I was thinking like, no, because that's not what I mean. Like, it's not just a prequel. Like
Yeah,
by that
prequels,
I mean,
there's good prequels, like, it's not like
yeah,
that.
by like Furiosa is about like, oh, the character Furiosa that happened to be in the other movie. This is like the major events of her life that got her to that situation. By prequelitis, I mean we see like Galinda get her ball, her little her fucking her ball bubble rather,
Yes.
her bubble
Her
flyer.
ball. Her.
And then she's sitting there and she's like, "Oh my god, is that what I think it is? It's a bubble." And then she pops the bubble. And then
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh is like, "Yes, but you cannot do magic." So then it's secretly hidden to make the bubble, and you press the button on the floor to make the bubble. And it's like, interesting. Yeah, none of this matters. We're just like, this is like, we're
Yeah.
focusing on this because Galinda has a bubble machine, or like
Mhm.
she flies around in a bubble in the original Wizard of Oz. So now we have to explain
Yeah.
how she does that, and then and it's
Yeah.
like that's what I mean by
Yeah.
prequelitis, like shit like that, where it's like,
Yeah, I feel like, well, I was gonna say it feels like less in this movie because like just on the fact of like the first movie felt very much like, oh, this is how she gets her hat, this is how she gets her this is how she gets her that.
yeah,
Which this is more like prequelitis is not the right word, but it's like this is what happened. What this is her perspective in the Wizard of Oz. Like this is what really happened, sort of stuff, which is
yeah,
like silly.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just like changing the events of the
because
Wizard of
this
Oz,
is
or like
more of
explaining
like
them
it can't. It's less of prequel stuff because it's set at the same time.
at the same time. Yeah.
Um,
Um.
I will say my last thing, unless you have something you really need to say about it. My last thing about Wicked 3's happening. It's
Yeah. I kind of. Yeah. I
yeah,
kind of.
you guys blew your load there.
I
I.
still don't
Um,
think it's happening.
I
it is
don't want. I definitely think it's possible that I win the bet because your bet was that it will be announced in the next 2 years. I think
yeah,
it's possible that they wait. Um.
I was
But
okay. This is my thing with the
I
movie,
can
the
see it
Wicked
now
3,
a little bit.
is because you were talking about the books, right?
yeah.
Where I just think they're not gonna do the book thing. If they do it, they're like they have to do something else. Because I was looking at like the next book is about like Elba's like son and like he's like upset. And it's like,
They
what
could
the
do
fuck?
that. They could do
No,
that.
sure. I just feels like that's not what they're building towards.
There's just listen. There's a lot of book.
It's
I'm saying
also
that there's
like
like a
10
ton of
years.
source
It's like
material that like somebody
10
already
years
put in the
out.
work. Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah,
It feels like they're going more towards like they're like because I think the movie ends and like Fiero and Elphaba like go in.
are
We
in
didn't
Dune
talk
Part
about this.
Three.
They go to
Yeah,
fucking like this like other world sort of thing, and they
yeah,
like walk off into the sunset, and then Glinda's like fixing everything because
yeah. Galinda's just like a W politician now. She's doing fucking
she
Marxism. She's
fucking
bringing Marxism
no, I know it's like
to
literally
Oz.
like she had to get like trauma fucking into being good at her job. She was like, oh, I literally have to fake my death so you can like get your shit together. Um, so there's no way they're like, okay, we're gonna do this like 10-year time jump, and there's gonna be like a son now. I just feel like that's not the angle they're gonna go. Um, they could do a third movie, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like it's free money. I of course but
Infinite money glitch.
it feels like it's gonna be way worse somehow. It just feels like that's the only
Yeah,
again.
it could be better, but yeah, especially if they do a third movie and they want to do it like a musical. They have
Like it's
to
also that's the thing. It's like
all invented
the
songs, all new songs.
the other
Yeah,
books aren't musicals; they're
right.
books.
They're
So it's
books.
like
Yeah,
there's no way it's gonna like the whole thing that these movies had is like there's some good songs that were written by other
Yeah.
people.
a long time ago.
It's
Right.
like
And the original songs in this movie could not
are
sustain a
forgettable.
whole
So it's
a whole
like
movie.
how are you gonna do it? Like I
Yeah.
understand that it's $1 billion idea,
That's why I
but
think some time's gonna pass. I feel like Doug was saying it's gonna be soon. I think they're gonna
yeah.
like let some time pass. I think they're gonna like let
Yeah.
Wicked
Well,
fans
especially
like
if they're gonna do
have this
this,
moment, wait a couple years, and then be like, okay, we're
if
bringing it
they're
back
gonna do
for
the book thing, because it's like I think it's like a 10-year jump or something.
sure.
Because she
Yeah.
has like a kid who was like a sentient human being,
Yeah.
and like she does not have a
Um,
kid right now.
that's
So,
true. Yeah. Uh, the other thing, I mean, Doug said if we have anything else to talk about, I have, oh, and if you don't have anything else to talk about, the other thing I wanted to mention before we move on is the conversation we have to have about the big awards, the big
oh,
Oscars.
The big O.
I something. So I was looking into this a little bit. It seemed like a lot of people were getting some of its odds have dropped because people were getting skeptical over the fact that some of the early reviews of this movie were very negative, right? Um, it still has the A cinema score. It is it does have a lower critical reception on Rotten Tomatoes than the first part. Um, it is still just going to get nominated in minimum 5 categories, right? Which is like, you don't get nominated in 5 categories and not get a Best Picture nomination. I think its chances are probably weaker, maybe even than the first part's chances.
Oh, it has to be.
But well, but the only thing would be that, like, you know, they didn't reward the first movie, so then they reward them like together with the second part. But I feel like, based on what I was looking at, the only category that it's like kind of a, I don't want to say like a front runner, but that people are like confident in, is Ariana Grande winning supporting actress.
What the
Um
fuck? Whatever.
which it will still be a battle between her, Tiana Taylor, and either of the Sentimental Value performances, most likely.
So crazy.
But uh but I think that's like maybe the place that they like, and Doug even mentioned like Ariana Grande, huge star, you know, so it would make sense to kind of like reward her as a way to um like give the movie a big moment at the Oscars, because Ariana Grande having a big moment would just like look good for the whole movie, you know.
They
She's like
should
a,
get her to. They should get her to perform at the Oscars.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
like
that would
actually.
be, that would be good. Well, there was like an article posted today about like, I don't know, I think it was Variety or something posted an article about Ariana Grande making this jump from like musician to movie star like so successfully, and it feels like they're just like, which has happened before, so I don't know why they
Bro,
like
they
framed the
were
article
really
that way.
hating on Justin Timberlake in that. They were like,
Yes.
Justin Timberlake couldn't do this shit. I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah, it's like Justin Timberlake could act.
he really did that shit. He was really good.
But still, I think they're like kind of like, with an article like that, it's like the, you know, the building blocks are there for an Oscar campaign for her, like a winning Oscar campaign. So I don't know. I like, there are just certain things that we know it's going to get nominated for, right? Production design, costume design, makeup, whatever. It'll probably have some songs nominated in those categories, so it will just pick up however many nominations. But when we're talking about winning major awards, I think it's safe to say that it is just like an Ariana Grande thing. I don't know that Cynthia Erivo is currently third for Best Actress. I feel like that could drop even lower. I don't know. I like, am I correct? So the two people above her right now are Jessie Buckley and Renata Reinsva.
It feels like this is like Jessie Buckley's year, but also who's to say?
Yeah, but then there's like, I don't know, there's people below her where I'm like, I just feel like you could mount a more successful campaign. You know, like Amanda Seyfried is getting momentum now for Testament of Anne Lee, which none of us have seen still, right?
Yeah.
No, it looks good though.
Yeah, and like Emma Stone is still in the race. You know, Rose Byrne, Chase Infinity, depending on how good One Battle After Another does in every other category, which we assume is very good. Could be in that conversation. I don't know. I just it feels like it's going to be pretty similar to last year, with like 10 Wicked for Good nominations and like 2 wins in a craft category. But it seems like you guys are very anti Ariana Grande winning Best Supporting Actress.
It's
It's
just,
tough. I don't
it's
know.
such a good year for actresses. I feel like
Yeah.
it would be kind of a mess if that was.
I don't think her performance is very good, and I think that both of the performances in One Battle After Another are like kind of all time performances. Like either of those
Yeah.
women winning would be like
Yeah, well, Regina Hall might not even get nominated.
right. She probably won't.
Yes. The most, and okay. What would upset you more? Let me give you two possible scenarios here. Would you be more upset that Ariana Grande beats Tiana Taylor for the Oscar in Best Supporting Actress, or that Regina Hall does not get nominated because Amy Madigan for Weapons gets the last spot?
Dude, Amy Madigan cannot get nominated. She cannot get nominated. She seems like a nice lady, and I don't want to pray on her downfall, but like it's like that you can't. No, we cannot be giving Zach Kreger Oscar nominations for Weapons. No,
So that's a worse scenario than Ariana Grande beating Tiana Taylor.
of course, yes, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Amy Madigan getting in is
Listen,
that's like damning on the
she's currently fifth
institution.
in the odds. Amy
That's
Madigan's currently holding on to that fifth spot, and we kind of like when we talked about
Yeah.
Weapons Oscar possibilities back when that movie came out, we were like, oh, it's like not actually,
Yeah.
but it seems like if anything's going to get nominated, she might
Um,
actually do it.
That's
I
stupid.
I I like a horror movie just as much as the next guy. I feel like there's such an unserious like yes, horror movies are there's a disrespect and there's the Oscars aren't interested in that kind of stuff, right? But like we have to be a little serious about who we're like like performances and what we're like being like this is our Oscar. Like it's like come on, like
It's also like
come on.
Sinners is a horror movie, dude. You
Yeah,
could just nominate people in the Sinners cast. Like,
yeah. It would
Michael
I-
B. Jordan did dual performances. I feel like are kind of disrespected at award shows too, because like that shit's kind of hard, you know.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
definitely. And I feel like they kind
he's
of don't know what to
still
do with it because they're like, oh, it's like it's like what? So
Yeah.
interesting. Touch that shit.
he is still currently expected to get nominated, but supporting performances like for Sinners are really not getting.
Which there's some really good supporting performances.
There are some incredible ones.
Yeah.
There are like I don't know. That's weird too. One thing that like really has stood out to me is that Delroy Lindo has just not really been part of supporting actor conversations, which is like I don't know. That feels a bit insane to me. But it feels like that's a long shot. Anyway, we won't get too deep into the Oscars because that's we'll have entire episodes dedicated to that. Let's
Yay.
let's quickly yeah. Let's quickly move on to the news before we wrap up. I want to remind everybody, of course, to share some feedback if you like listening to us talk about Wicked for Good. Hopefully, the last time we talk about a Wicked movie on here, but if Doug has anything to say about it, we might be talking about a part 3 at
I was
some
actually
point.
directing the third one.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Rate the episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and you can follow us at all the links in the episode description. We've got a couple pieces of news here. I want to start with something that I think all of us are going to be excited about. A lot of names here. Emma Corrin, Hunter Schafer, Sophie Wilde, Havana Rose Liu have joined Josh Hutcherson, Frank Delane, Caleb Landry Jones, and Whitmer Thomas in an untitled A24 horror film directed by Arkasha Stevenson.
Yeah.
The film centers on a bachelor party that spirals into terror.
I didn't know about this.
You didn't know about this?
Oh, boy. I made a
man.
TikTok about it, but you don't use TikTok anymore.
I don't use
so-
TikTok.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Great cast.
Yes.
Amazing.
I was like,
Hunter
okay.
Schafer's in the new Arkasha Stevenson movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, oh, this is a cool cast, and then like Hunter was announced like a day or two later, which is cool. I really like. I haven't seen Urchin, the Harris Dickinson movie, but I really like Frank Delane. I think he's a really interesting actor.
Interesting.
So this is a cool cast. The plot is like okay, cool. I'm interested. Like obviously,
The plot is like mostly nothing right now. The only thing about the plot is that it's like a bachelor.
No, I
party.
know,
Like,
but
that could be
like
That's
where I'm like, okay, we'll see. Arkasha Stevenson did the first Omen, which is like a IP thing, which I mean, she did the IP thing better than anyone really. Like it's like she killed that like kind of garbage assignment sort of thing where it's like this assignment is not something that anyone expected to be good, and then she did good with that. So I'm interested to see what she does with like a more free reign on like the actual.
Yeah, and she's working with the same writer for the first Omen.
Cool.
They're writing this script together, so I have faith that it'll be interesting.
I'm interested on like how the movie is gonna look and like the setting because we're talking like I don't know the plot of it. Just like it's like okay because it's very like the first Omen has a very specific kind of look to it. I don't know. It's very exciting, but also it's very like no idea what this is gonna be like, which is interesting and exciting, but also it's like gotta see more.
Right.
Yeah. Working. Okay.
Josh Hutcherson's kind of having a moment. He's
coming back. He's coming back.
He's back in the
the
headlines. Josh Hutcherson. He's
having like
Five Nights at Freddy's was big.
Five Nights at Freddy's was big, but
that
now
was a big get. Like it sounds stupid, but that was a big get.
It sounds dumb as shit, but that was massive for him.
He's
and
also in the Rachel.
I love LA.
He's like he's like one of the main characters.
He's one of the main characters. Yeah.
And
they already got renewed for season 2. So
he's having a moment it's a
Yeah,
weird moment
he's
for
It
sure,
is
really
a
but
bad.
he's
it's a
happy.
weird
Yeah.
way to come back, but yeah,
It's
Yeah, 'cause
weird,
it's
and then he's also like a lot of his press is still talking about the Hunger Games as they're promoting like the new Hunger Games, and he's being like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to return for another Hunger Games movie." And I'm like, if the momentum keeps building, maybe they'll just do one, you know,
yeah.
like maybe they'll just bring back all of the all of the original cat. I don't know,
You know
but
what? I think this is okay. So Five Nights at Freddy's, right? I think like that movie really did help him a lot. Obviously, like duh, but like because that movie was really big and it was stupid, and I think that like him signing onto it and like maybe being willing to be the lead in that and like play in and like put an effort into being the lead in the stupid fucking movie that a normal like a respectable actor wouldn't really respect kind of helps him like put this image of being like, oh, like, I'm willing to do work, like
yeah,
actual work, you know. um
yeah.
yeah.
uh I don't know.
And from what I've seen of I Love LA,
Have
he's
you
having
seen
fun.
what have you seen?
I've seen 2 episodes.
Okay.
I
Have you
didn't
seen
watch
it?
episode 3 yet, and I think episode 4 comes out tonight.
Okay. Because I've only seen like
But
clips, so I was like wondering
no,
if you
yeah, I've
actually had
seen the
watched
first 2
it.
episodes. I'm gonna be honest, not like my favorite thing in the world,
Yeah.
but
What is it on? On Apple
it's on
TV?
HBO.
Yeah, or
HBO.
HBO.
HBO, yeah. But it got renewed for season 2 already, so Josh Hutcherson, he's gonna be. I mean, I guess everybody in that cast is gonna be around for season 2. But yeah, new Arkasha Stevenson movie. Yay!
Huge, so huge.
Yeah. I wanted to start with that because I knew you guys would love that. David Oyelowo will direct and star in a film adaptation of William Shakespeare's Othello, co-starring Rachel Brosnahan and Wicked star Cynthia Erivo, and produced by James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli. Thoughts, feelings?
Cool.
I thought
Barbara
Barbara Broccoli
Broccoli.
retired.
I don't know, she's producing Othello.
um um Interesting. Othello's really good. It has an interesting cinematic history. um
Yeah. Did you? Oh, I thought Owen just like reached
No,
behind him to like grab Othello.
it's
I
over
thought he just like
there.
had it
It's,
handy.
it's over there.
Oh, I see.
12th night.
Um,
But that's not.
yeah, not the same, but close enough.
Oh wait. No, it's
Yeah, while you
fine.
look for that, I'll move on to the next piece of
No,
news.
it's okay.
Danielle Deadweiler is joining David Johnson, Cooper Hoffman, and Paul Dano in India Donaldson's The Chaperones, which we previously talked about for A24. The film is set. This is a new piece of news. When we talked about the casting of this movie previously, it was just the casting and director. It was not a synopsis. The film is set days after Christmas, where 3 slacker friends are hired to transport a troubled teen across the country.
I feel like I
So
remember this like plot thing.
I don't. At least
Okay.
I don't like. I might
I
have
feel like
read
I
it.
do feel like it was
But I don't think
always
I read it on the podcast.
okay. Maybe that's
I don't know. Maybe I did, and
because
people
I
can
definitely
correct me,
remember that.
But anyway, yeah. But already the cast already had David Johnson, Cooper Hoffman, and Paul Dano. I guess Daniel Deadweiler is going to be one of those other of the friends. I don't know who plays the troubled teen. I don't know if that's Cooper Hoffman or David Johnson. I'm not sure. But I'm very excited for this movie. I kind of really excited for this movie because I really thought India Donaldson's debut was lovely, and now
I saw I saw
story
this
sounds like
thing on like TikTok or something, and I feel like it's like super like rumor like fake shit. But there was like people who like auditioned for like the Wicked roles, and it was like Cooper Hoffman as Bach, and I was like, what the fuck? So that means imagine that.
that would be a disaster. I don't know.
yeah, that would
No,
be
but
bad
yeah,
for him.
it would be so silly. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's
I don't think
doing
can he sing?
better work than that, hopefully. Joseph Kaczynski teases that a sequel to Top Gun Maverick is currently being written.
Yeah, I knew that.
Don't we
Yeah,
do this
I don't
every
know why.
fucking month?
I feel like we've talked about it, but I guess he just I don't know. I guess there's a difference between like someone reporting it and like him confirming it.
Yeah, well, Tom Cruise has
Um,
talked about this like a while ago. Tom Cruise was talking about this, but like Joseph Kosinski, I guess, like being attached like really explicitly is interesting. I wish this wasn't a thing that was happening. This
yeah.
is stupid. This is so stupid. Um, I don't know. Like, I know Owen doesn't care about Top Gun Maverick. Do you like it, Kevin? Yeah. I think the movie's really great, but that movie's so like it's very singular.
Yeah, and it's also like I don't know. You don't need to like make more with the. I don't know. Like you don't need to expand on it. It's like kind
uh,
of a. I don't know.
Especially where it's like, what Maverick's gonna come back again? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
I think that this is just very desperate from Paramount because Tom Cruise he's kind of left Paramount. He's like over it. Like he's working
Yeah.
at Universal now. Um this is very like them holding on to him. Like
Right.
gripping him as like he leaves Paramount because like Mission Impossible is Paramount, Top Gun is Paramount. He's done with Mission Impossible and is like, no, make another Top Gun movie, please.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know, because he's Mr. Paramount. That's like all
Right.
he's like
That's a
he's
good
like
angle.
yeah.
Yeah. Last piece of news here. Something that we've all talked about privately. A new actor has been added to the circle. Christian Bale is circling a major role
The
in Michael
fucking
Mann's Heat
circle,
2.
man. The fucking circle. Um,
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know.
It's cool. I think Christian Bale is like he's a movie star. He's a great actor. He has history with Michael Mann. He was in the Public Enemies, right? Which is really. Have you seen that, Owen?
Which also Channing Tatum's in Public Enemies,
He
right?
very
Yeah.
briefly.
No, but that's what I'm.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, very briefly. This is my thing with the circling and the cast thing because I felt this way when Leo was first announced, where I was like against it or whatever. But then they're like, okay, this is the whole cast that might be in it, and then I'm like, oh, I feel better about this. So I feel like none of this casting mattered until I had the whole cast list because it's
Yeah.
like, okay, if you're gonna be like Christian Bale's in the movie, but that means Bradley Cooper isn't in the movie. But actually, no, Bradley Cooper's still in the movie. It gets a little like I just need to know who's in the movie, who's not in the movie.
Yeah.
Because when they said Leo was in the movie, I was like, oh fuck, does that mean X, Y, and Z isn't in the movie? Or that actually isn't like
Now it
you know what
seems
I'm
like
saying?
we are just going to have like a star-studded
Yeah.
cast.
But I need to
Well,
know who's in the movie.
okay. Here's
Yeah.
Because
what I think is happening. Okay. I think I think that behind the scenes, Michael Mann is really trying to get this movie made, and I think that Michael Mann is having fucking a really hard time getting it financed. Like getting like a
The
producer
budget
or
that he
production
wants.
company to
Yeah.
agree to the budget that he wants. Like I think he's
Yeah.
really having a difficult time like doing that. I think that is just what is happening behind the scenes. And I think that Michael Mann is approaching these actors almost like out of desperation, saying like Leonardo DiCaprio, can you would you agree to be in Heat 2? Maybe not even for a lot of money. So that I could then go back to like the go back to the table and renegotiate and say like, hey, Heat 2, right? But it's starring Leonardo DiCaprio. I think now he's doing that with Channing, not Channing Tatum, Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Christian Bale and being
Yeah.
like, okay, Heat 2 starring Christian Bale and Leonardo DiCaprio, right? And because I think like I feel like what happened was he went to the table. He had this huge plan, this big script, and this huge plan for a really expensive Heat 2 starring Austin Butler and Adam Driver. And I think that every studio was like, "You're fucking crazy." So I think now they're kind of scrambling. I think he's like, "Oh fuck, like I don't know," you know. I think that's what's
it
going
does
on.
feel super messy, but also it's like we're only getting what we're getting, so it's hard to
Yeah,
but
well, there
it
was
does
like
feel
in the
super
Hollywood.
weird.
Okay, but like officially reported this was a while ago, but like officially reported was in the Hollywood Reporter article where it did say like Michael Mann's first pitch for Heat 2 was like really expensive. It was
Yeah.
like
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah.
$250 million, and every
That's
studio
true.
was like no. And so then he had to rework the budget lower, and then that's all it said. That was the only detail. So I think like maybe they're just still having problems with money. Like I think Michael Mann still like just like needs the
Yeah.
movie to be expensive. And
I think that's definitely probably it's both possible and like likely.
So I think that's what all like this like actors circling roles. Like, nobody's cast because the movie doesn't exist yet. I think that's why
Right.
it's still circling. Um,
Yeah. Um, I just hope
which
we
is
get it.
sad and fucked up.
Yeah.
It's fucked
It's
up.
like kind of crazy because this is just like would just be like the best movie ever.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
yeah. I mean, just honestly put any actor like I am like I have been kind of like a baby about it where it's like I want Adam Driver and Austin Butler in my Heat 2 movie, but it really is
yeah.
like at the end of the day, like put any actors in there. Like just get
I think
just get
all of the
the
actors that have
buzzing
like
ones, bro.
circled this project, it's just like that's why I like, and I know you've said those things before, but it's like I've never felt that picky about this because I'm just like all of these people are so good. Like I literally don't
Yeah.
care. I'm like I it's Heat too. You know, it's like I love Christian Bale. Like it's like would I rather it be someone else? Probably, but like
Yeah.
who gives a shit? I'm like Christian Bale's awesome. Yeah, I
No,
know
I
Owen doesn't
know,
really
but
care that much about him, but
Well,
but
but the
no,
thing
I
is,
understand that
like
it's like he's a good actor.
if it's
I just
Christian Bale or the movie doesn't
it's he
happen, what are we saying? Like,
sure, yeah,
sure.
exactly.
yeah,
I'm just like it's almost like there's an abundance of possibilities, and it's like
yeah.
we're never. This is not a thing that normally happens.
I
Where
read the
it's like,
book and I got married to Austin Butler while reading the book. That's that's why
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time with it. Like I'm
Yeah.
serious. I really did.
yeah,
Like I
No,
was like,
that's
oh, this
fair.
is.
But it's
I'm
also
reading
like
the book and I'm like, this is Austin Butler. While I'm reading the
yeah.
book, like, yeah. So
No, I well, also it's like we've spent fucking forever speculating on what this movie is gonna be, and kind of like it's we've gotten to like this is what it needs to be.
it's
But
sad.
I'm like, dude, Adam Driver has to be in this movie. I'm like, come
yeah.
on. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I
No,
No,
I
do
it's
agree.
feel
I
like
agree.
it's like Adam Driver is the kind of guy who would like he's not like harping over the money, like he wants to do Heat 2. So I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
if he's not in the movie, I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. No, it's a disaster. Adam Driver's also
Yeah.
famous. He's not. Granted, he's not as famous. He just is not as famous as Leonardo DiCaprio or Christian Bale. But it is like
Yeah.
he's famous.
No, I know
Driver's
that's what I'm
famous,
saying. Where it's
yeah.
like, I if Adam
And
Driver wants to do the
Austin
movie and you can't get him in the movie, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, no, literally,
yeah.
what are we doing? Yeah. Yeah.
And Austin Butler is not as famous as those guys, but he is like
Yeah,
he
he's
did
like
What's
just
even
get
less famous than Adam Driver,
but
but he's still
yeah, but he
he's
did just
a
get
rising
cast in that
star.
Miami Vice
He's
movie.
huge.
But he
Yeah.
is big now to a specific age demographic. Like I feel like people are like
Sure.
more hyped to see Austin Butler than like Christian Bale for like a certain like I don't know. It's just feel like
For young, like super,
Christian
yeah,
Bale
for very
is
young
Christian
people, I
Bale,
guess.
but like he's also like
Christian Bale's not an exciting what's
he's been
Christian
doing this
Bale,
forever, and he's like
yeah,
it's like
he's not an exciting
know.
actor anymore. Even like in the way that Leonardo DiCaprio is still an exciting actor. Christian Bale, like he like his output, the movies that he picks
yeah, the
now
movies that he picks are just bad.
are bad. He's just in
Um,
bad movies. And that's not like being rude. I think
no, it's just
it's not
true.
damning to him. It's just like he's picking bad roles. Like
Yeah. We all know the movies that we like Christian Bale, and this is his most recent run, and including a movie that we have yet to see, The Bride, which comes out early next year. So The
which is
Bride
a
comes
bad
out early
trailer,
next year.
but optimistic.
Sure, but yeah, optimistic. So The Bride comes out early next year. Before that, we've got The Pale Blue Eye. That was 3 years ago. That movie was not good.
Yeah.
Also, just kind of crazy. 3 years ago, and then he like I don't that's nuts. Before that, same year, Amsterdam. Before that, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
And then we get to
which he's
Ford v
good in. That
Ferrari,
movie's
and then we
terrible, but
get
he's good in Thor: Love and Thunder. Like
yeah. And then we get to Ford v
But
Ferrari.
that's what I'm
and
saying.
then
Like Austin
he wins an
Butler to
Oscar
me
for
seems
Vice.
like a bigger swing or like a bigger moment right now. Like it's feel like Austin Butler's the top of his fucking game.
dude,
It's like Christian Bale's been around and like okay, we've been there, done that.
I'm freaking out. It
doesn't feel like
I'm
those
too
two people are
emotional
like
about Heat 2 because
it
it
doesn't
is
feel like
like
those people are at odds though. It feels like those are different roles.
dude, I swear to God, Michael Mann should be able to sit down with any Hollywood production company and say the words Heat 2, Adam Driver, and Austin Butler, and then get the $250 million, which is a huge budget. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a Mission Impossible budget. But like, and get that budget, which also I don't know why the fuck he thought he would be able to get that, but he should be able to get that budget just by saying those words: Heat 2, Austin Butler, and Adam Driver, right? But here's the thing: if he can't get that done in Hollywood, he should be able to fly to China, sit down with a production company in China and say those words, and then they should be able to give him 200. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like,
Yeah, no. Let's wrap up there. Next week, episode 143. Who knows what we'll be talking about? But it'll be something
like
of
Moon.
value.
Moon. What's the fucking that shit called? About the moon falling to Earth.
Moonfall?
Moonfall. That was a Chinese movie.
What's that movie about heat?
That that like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't whatever.
Next week, episode 143. We'll see you later. Bye.